Important update about YouTube playlists. Hey everyone. We've received many messages asking why our YouTube playlists aren't showing up. Do we create YouTube playlists? Yes, we absolutely do. So why can't you see them? Honestly, we're not sure. We've been in contact with YouTube support for several months now, but we still haven't received a clear answer or solution. After much discussion, our team has decided to take matters into our own hands. We believe the issue might be related to the number of playlists we've created on a single channel, possibly too many. Our solution? We're launching 2 additional YouTube channels, giving us a total of 3. This way, we can organize our audiobooks better and avoid the playlist visibility issue in the future. This change only affects our YouTube audience. If you're a patron supporter, you can still access all our audiobooks by visiting the collection menu on Patreon. Thanks so much for your time and continued support. Happy listening. Important update about YouTube playlists. Hey everyone. We've received many messages asking why our YouTube playlists aren't showing up. Do we create YouTube playlists? Yes, we absolutely do. So why can't you see them? Honestly, we're not sure. We've been in contact with YouTube support for several months now, but we still haven't received a clear answer or solution. After much discussion, our team has decided to take matters into our own hands. We believe the issue might be related to the number of playlists we've created on a single channel, possibly too many. Our solution? We're launching 2 additional YouTube channels, giving us a total of 3. This way, we can organize our audiobooks better and avoid the playlist visibility issue in the future. This change only affects our YouTube audience. If you're a patron supporter, you can still access all our audiobooks by visiting the collection menu on Patreon. Thanks so much for your time and continued support. Happy listening. Chapter 204, Out of Money. Although the news of the next round of the game starting early shook all the train conductors, after the initial shock, they realized it had absolutely nothing to do with them for now. Life went on as usual, totally unaffected. Even Chizhao was the same. He hadn't received any new tasks. After leaving Paradise Island, he continued his personal journey. Of course, his trip to Paradise Island had brought his travel qualifications up to 100%, enough to level up to 31. But Chizhao couldn't level up right now. Why? Simple. He was broke. He had leveled up to 30 in one go earlier, and combined with a ton of modification projects, had burned through all his train coins. Though in the past 2 days he'd opened level 7 treasure chests and received station rewards from Zijian, gaining over 100 coins, he'd spent it all again. Buying the Nichiren blade, the auto veggie farming machine. Now, he only had 37 train coins left. And from level 31 to 40, the coins required to level up doubled again. From 50 coins, it jumped to 100 coins. Besides that, each level now required 2,400 kg of metal, 1,200 kg of plastic, and 800 kg of wood. These basic materials had also doubled. Not only that, but he also had to accumulate travel qualifications. Having materials and train coins alone wasn't enough. Without traveling to earn qualifications, he couldn't level up. Train coins really didn't go far at all. Chizhao instantly felt a massive headache. The bounties from Huang LV Hong and Hidden Thread still hadn't come in. Gotta say, Orderly Heaven really dragged things out. Ugh. Guess that's the curse of large organizations. Overcomplicated procedures. Chizhao reminded them daily, and their reply was always the same: your request is being expedited. Please wait patiently. Right now, I have 10 auto veggie farming machines, and a pile of exotic beast corpses. Selling exotic beast corpses as is isn't worth much. Turning them into magical multi-use fertilizer sells at 1 train coin per 5 kg on the market. But that's way too slow for making money, and the peach tree hasn't reached saturation yet. So the fertilizer gets instantly absorbed when spread. I'll wait until that phase hits saturation. Chizhao turned his attention to the items he had on him. Lust, fishbone sword, Nichiren blade, 1000-face human skin mask, galaxy nanobugs, silver combat suit, ZZ pistol, crimson dice, dark magician girl monster card, gem of the sage magic card, pearls pearl, whale horn, confidence earbud, dragon beard wire. Anything I can sell for cash. The whale horn, once blown, could summon nearby fish. If I ever stop at a coast, river, or fish pond, it'll be useful for fishing. The confidence earbud. I haven't used it in battle yet, but it could be handy to keep. As for what I could sell, maybe just that giant pearl whose use is still unknown, and the dragon beard wire confiscated from Hidden Thread. Chizhao took out the slightly translucent white thread from his boundary bracelet. He'd let Li Huizi try this thread before, but after testing it, she found it didn't suit her combat style and returned it to Chizhao. Chizhao himself wasn't used to it either. He still preferred guns. For close combat, blades were his first choice. Sell it. No. Wuda still hasn't replied. If I leak anything about selling hidden threads items, and it spreads, that'll be bad. Even a tiny slip-up can't happen. Better to just wait for the bounty money. No rush. Let's see which station we're stopping at tomorrow. This stop, Panhong's Paradise, single-player station. Latest departure time, 16 hours after arrival. This is a training center specialized in reforming dogs with serious behavioral problems. The owner's name is Panhong. Danger level, level 1. Your soul will be swapped with that of a dog in Panhong's Paradise. Your soul will return before the train departs. If you manage to escape Panhong's Paradise as a dog before the train departs, you will receive 1G silver coin. Chizhao couldn't help curling his lips. Fuck me, soul swap? I'm going to become a dog? Chapter 205, Panhong's Paradise. At the same time, in another world. Red brick walls, dirt ground, an iron gate. This is Panhong's Paradise. In the open yard, inside variously sized dog cages, dogs that had been trained. Or were waiting to be trained. Were locked up. Bright sunlight poured down, and the courtyard echoed with endless barking. Bang. The iron gate was kicked open. Leading the way was a buzz-cut man dressed in a black cotton jacket and army green camo pants. He was the owner of this paradise. Panhong. TSK. He spat out a glob of phlegm and walked to a green dog cage. Inside the cage was a husky. Then, turning to the camera, he began introducing the dog. This husky's name is Liu. It's the one that bit up the pretty dog owner's manicure. It's already been here overnight. Now it's getting used to the environment. Look, the moment I walked in, I could hear it barking. Same old routine. Let's see if it's really biting or just faking, then we'll take the next step. With that, Panhong put on his protective gear. If it really bites, that means it's highly aggressive. If it's just bluffing, maybe this dog's actually a coward. Not much of a bladder. Alright, let's give it a try. Panhong turned around and stepped in front of Liu, slipping his hand through the bars of the cage. Liu didn't hold back. Chomped down immediately. Nearly bit off his glove. Startled, Panhong jumped back in shock. Holy shit. This little guy's vicious. Once it bites something, it just starts thrashing like crazy. Panhong tried again, and got the same result. He took off his glove and started prepping tools. Let's get it out first. Damn, I'm doing it myself. Panhong pointed at the rope tied to Liu's collar inside the cage. The thing's caught on the buckle. Who dares to reach in there? It'd bite your hand clean off. Forget it, forget it. Panhong shook his head, helpless. Guess I gotta use my Grandmaster's ultimate method. Then he pulled out a special tool. He reached into the cage and looped it around the dog's neck. Damn, this one's wild. Doesn't respect anyone. You might as well unplug my life support and slap on a defib kit. This was the wildest dog Panhong had ever seen. Even after heart compressions started, it kept barking like mad. Liu's eyes were filled with defiance and fury. Panhong saw it and flared with anger. Lower your head. Lower your fucking head. Did you hear me? Lower it. What does lower your head mean? Lower it. This thing's going feral, barking all night long. Just bam bam. Thrashing madly. Doesn't respect anyone. Panhong gritted his teeth. He'd dealt with tough dogs before, but this was next level. When I tell you to lower your head, you lower it. Stay still. One round of heart compressions ended, and Liu collapsed in the cage, clearly exhausted. It didn't even have the strength to bark, let alone move. Panhong nodded, satisfied. Heart compressions still worked. He smiled and reached out to stroke Liu. Liu. But Liu still bared its teeth and growled, ready to bite again. That really pissed Panhong off. Any other dog, after a round of heart compressions, would at least calm down a bit. But not Liu. It got even more aggressive. Even more stubborn. Panhong suppressed his anger and shook his head. This dog. I see now. It's got that kind of attitude because it's never been disciplined. No one ever scolded it. No one ever managed it. To put it bluntly, it has no home training. Feeling the emotion, Panhong spat another glob of phlegm. Continue. More heart compressions. Panhong gripped the thick black and red nylon rope, doing chest compressions while muttering, "Man, this husky's way more stubborn than that. Look, brothers. 1, 2, 3. Took 3 ropes to tie it down. One of them was even a heavy iron chain. This heart compression set took a whole 15 minutes. Other dogs can't last 5. But this one? Still going. That's the only reason it's starting to submit now. Imagine how spoiled it must have been at home. It's like raising a kid. If you don't manage, don't discipline, don't teach. When they screw up big time, someone else will have to teach them. And that lesson's gonna be way harsher. Pan Hong sighed, full of helplessness. Same thing here. This dog came back from dog school. Cost nearly 10 grand to train, and what happened? Bit people even worse afterward. So now that it's gone through this. Bro, you see? It's already way calmer than before. Then he reached to pat Liu Liu's head again. Though the dog's eyes were still fierce, it didn't lunge like it had before. It held back. See? Much better. Doesn't have that urge to attack like earlier. The stronger the aggression, the greater the pressure we gotta apply. Today's compressions. Simple. So far, just twice. As for the dragon fruit, only had its first meal. And the soul stomping kick? Haven't even used that yet. Let's give it another round of compressions. Let it go halfway to hell before coming back. Let it feel what it really means. With that, another round of compressions began. During the session, Pan Hong kept explaining how to tame a dog like this. This kind of dog, you just can't spoil it. Understand? The more you spoil it, the worse it gets. You gotta make it learn its lesson in one shot. Then he glanced at a brown-white Alaskan Malamute in the cage behind him. What do you think? Familiar scene? Same place, same corner. Ring a bell? This dog's name was Used to be just like Liu Liu. It once broke its female owner's arm, injured the male owner. Even sent his parents to the hospital. Worse than Liu Liu. But now, Pan Hong had trained it into a total sweetheart. Look at now. What a good boy, right at? Then Pan Hong looked down at Liu Liu on the floor. Still had that defiant look. Even worse, its tail was still wagging casually. That made Pan Hong furious. He spat 3 times in a row. Seriously, bro? You think I'm playing with you? Then Pan Hong amped up the compressions. Another set done, and everyone was exhausted. Liu Liu? This one's really wild. So damn tough. So stubborn. Panting, Pan Hong reached down to the equally panting Liu Liu. Liu Liu, let's call it for today. Get some sleep here. Tomorrow. We'll talk more, yeah Liu Liu? He stood up and shouted, retreat. After Pan Hong left, spoke up from the side, bro, impressive. Even tougher than I was. But stop being so stubborn. You won't last. Back in my day, I was even more resistant. Still gave in eventually. You'd be better off surrendering early and suffering less. You don't know shit. Some dogs just can't be caged. Liu Liu shot back mercilessly, I'm not like you losers. Then more dogs chimed in. Whoa, damn bro, you're hardcore. Guess he hasn't had enough dragon fruit yet. Still that mouthy. If you ask me, better to just give in and go home early. Let's bet. See how many rounds of heart compression he can take. Will he beat that? I'm betting half a bowl of muscle boost stew. I'm in. Half a bowl. Fuck all of you. Need a fucking beating, huh? Fired back angrily. My record. Unmatched in dog history. Who wants to break it? Who even can? Liu Liu ignored them. To him, it was all just noise. He turned his head and dozed off in the other direction. Humphrey. These ordinary mutts. A place like this? As if it can hold me. Make me submit? Impossible. At that thought, a sharp glint flashed in Liu Liu's eyes. Chapter 206, Some Dogs Just Can't Be Caged. Chi Zhao had breakfast early and locked himself in the front of the train. To deal with the soul swap issue, he picked a small private space for himself. He also gave clear instructions. Once the train arrived, Lao Yu and the others were to guard the train and not run off. At 7:50, the train arrived on time. The train is about to arrive. Please remain seated and hold on tight. The moment the broadcast sounded, Chi Zhao smelled blood. Such a strong scent of blood. Is it coming from my own mouth? It wasn't just blood. There was also the smell of dog feces and urine under the cages, human saliva on the floor, food scents wafting from afar. Even the colors of the world had changed. Now dominated by blue, yellow, and gray. Chi Zhao immediately realized, the train had arrived, and he had become one of the dogs in Pan Hong's paradise. Because he was now a dog, his sharp sense of smell bombarded him with an overwhelming amount of information. So this is what it feels like to walk on all fours. Chi Zhao thought it was quite strange. Very stable, actually. His items were gone, and he couldn't use any skills? Did I really become just a normal dog? Wait. My soul anchor from Anchor Point Rewind, I can still sense it. No wonder it's a special module. Knowing he could still use Anchor Point Rewind, Chi Zhao felt relieved. If it were any other train conductor arriving at this stop, swapping into a regular dog's body, chained and caged, it really would be hard to escape. Come to think of it. Did Lao Yu and the others turn into dogs too? No, probably not. The station forecast said you would swap souls with a dog. It didn't mention the passengers. Yo, Brother Liu's awake. How'd you sleep last night, Brother Liu? Who's talking? Chi turned his head and saw. Yep, a dog was talking to him. Right, I'm a dog now. It makes perfect sense, I can understand dog language. Wanna know if Lao Yu and the others are here? Just holler and find out. Lao Yu. Zijian. Little Sakura. Black Wind Monster. Bro, what the hell you barking for this early? Didn't eat enough dragon fruit yesterday or what? Who you calling? Too many heart compressions got your brain fried? What dragon fruit? What heart compressions? What's this dog even talking about? Just then. Bang. The iron gate was kicked open. First thing I hear is you howling again. Liu, you're acting up again, huh? At the sight of the man, ominous background music began ringing in Chijiao's ears. Nostril hair with extra holes, nostril hair with extra holes, nostril hair with extra holes, nostril hair with extra holes. Pan Hong walked toward Chijiao while explaining to the cameraman behind him, see that? This husky's got twice the toughness of that. Thing is stubborn as hell. Wailing and howling again first thing in the morning. This one's way harder to deal with than that. If it goes badly, I might need 3 months. Come on, let's check the husky's condition. Liu. Husky? Liu? Chijiao tilted his dog head without thinking. Even though he was a dog now, he could still understand human speech. Then he examined himself. Long legs, black and white fur, all tangled up in dog chains. Oh fuck no. I turned into Liu? No wonder my mouth tastes like blood, and my body hurts all over. Shit, talk about bad luck. Liu? What's going on? Not responding? Did he go stupid? Chijiao looked up at Pan Hong but didn't move. Whoa, Liu? Something's off, something's real off. Why so well behaved all of a sudden? Even his eyes looked different. Uncle Pan said, looks like he's mellowed out, huh? Not even baring teeth anymore. What exactly happened last night? He slammed his right fist into his left palm. I get it. He must have stayed up all night and figured it out. Realized resistance was pointless, so he gave up. Pan Hong shook his head and spat several times. Uncle, you're still too green. You ever heard of abnormal behavior always hides something? Right, Liu? Trying to trick me into coming closer so you can pull something? Pan Hong grinned, not happening. I'm not falling for that. Uncle, grab the tools. As planned. 10 rounds of heart compressions today. Liu, don't be scared. I'll treat you real good. You won't bite anyone ever again. Chijiao rolled his eyes at that. One thing's certain. Lao Yu and the rest aren't here. That's a relief. Fine, you all go ahead and play. I'm outta here. Unlike the real Liu, Chijiao didn't need to act obedient to trick Pan Hong into relaxing his guard, then wait until midnight to scale the wall and escape. He had anchor point rewind. With it, he could set a soul anchor on the train. No matter where he was, it ignored all rules of the current world and returned him to the anchor point. Forced extraction. Woof 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 woof. With Chijiao's shout, the very next second, Liu, who had been bound by 3 chains, vanished with a whoosh. Pan Hong froze. The cameraman froze. Uncle Pan froze. It froze. Everyone. Human and dog. In Pan Hong's paradise, all froze. Pan Hong trembled as he bent down and picked up the now empty collar. Uncle, am I seeing things? Did Liu just vanish? And no, probably not. Uncle rubbed his eyes in disbelief, panicked. Pan Hong spat a few more times, tossed the collar aside. Go. Check the surveillance cameras. As the 3 of them ran off in a panic, the dogs in the park exploded in chaos. What just happened? Where's Brother Liu the dog? He's just gone? What did he say last night again? He said, some dogs just can't be caged. Holy shit, he wasn't bluffing? Bro. Take me with you next time. Liu woke up. Mouth didn't hurt anymore. Body didn't hurt either. Damn, I'm awesome. King of pain endurance. One good nap and I'm fully healed. Wait. Where am I? He crawled around the front of the train on all 4s. Sniff sniff sniff. Why can't I smell anything? Zijian and Li Huizi peered in through the small window, staring at Chijiao crawling like a dog. Utterly confused. What is this guy doing? He told us not to disturb him. And this is what he's doing? Dog crawl practice? Li Huizi shook her head. Totally baffled. Train conductors in there practicing dog crawling? Lao Yu looked dumbfounded. He couldn't see through the window. Too short. See for yourself. Zhejian lifted Lao Yu and held him up to the small window. Hurry. I can't hold this much longer. Holy shit. What is the train conductor doing? Why the hell is he licking the floor? Chapter 207, Easy Win, G Silver Coin. Hearing Lao Yu's startled shout, the Qizhao licking the floor suddenly jerked his head up. The moment their eyes met, Lao Yu knew something was wrong. No, that look. That's not the conductor. The conductor would never look at me like that. Without hesitation, Lao Yu turned into a streak of light and shot through the small window into the front of the train. All his clothes, including his underwear, dropped to the floor. He still hadn't mastered traveling through transparent material with clothes on. Who are you? Get out of the conductor's body right now. Lao Yu shouted at Qizhao. Lai Liu raised its head and looked at the completely naked boy. With a disdainful expression, it stood up. Hands on hips, it said arrogantly, Who am I? I'm your grandpa Yu. Lao Yu? Lai Liu rubbed its nose, looking down on him as it sneered, and who the fuck are you supposed to be? I'm Lao Yu. Hey, hee, ha 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 ha. What little brat dares share a name with Grandpa Yu? Still wet behind the ears. Looks like you're begging to get bit. With that, Qizhao lunged and bit Lao Yu right on the index finger he was pointing with. Caught off guard, Lao Yu got bitten hard. Ah! Qizhao clamped on and violently shook its head. Let go. I said let go. Lao Yu could have pulled his finger out, but he was afraid of damaging Qizhao's teeth if he yanked too hard. So he just gritted his teeth and endured it. The two wrestled together, and outside the door, Zhejian and Li Huizi anxiously slapped the train door. Lai Liu, open the door first. We can't open it from outside. Hearing that voice, Qizhao turned toward the small window. Huh? Who's this woman? How does she know I'm called Lai Liu? No. The conductor said we have to guard the train. We can't let him out. Just as the two were brawling, a flash of white light erupted. A black and white husky, bloodied and injured, suddenly appeared. It was Qizhao himself. He'd returned in the body of a dog. The moment he arrived, he saw Lai Liu fighting Lao Yu. What the hell? Lao Yu, you can't even beat a dog? Right after Qizhao said that, he remembered. He was literally a dog right now. But in Lao Yu's ears, it came out as, woof woof woof. Woof woof woof. Woof 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 woof. What the fuck, where'd this dog come from? Lai Liu also froze when he saw Qizhao. Wait, isn't that my body? Damn, I look good. That unyielding gaze. No doubt about it, that's me. For a moment, it was so mesmerized that it loosened its grip on Lao Yu's mouth. Now there were three of them in a bizarre standoff. Qizhao in Lai Liu's body, Lai Liu in Qizhao's body, and Lao Yu. Two men, one dog, all staring at each other. Qizhao pounced on Lai Liu and tackled him to the ground. Qizhao's head slammed into the wall, twisting to the side. And he passed out. Conductor. Lao Yu was stunned. No wait, that's not the conductor. But it is the conductor's body. Lao Yu, who had been fighting Lai Liu, now instinctively shielded him once he passed out. When he saw the husky raise its paw to pounce, Lao Yu panicked. Oh no, this dog really is dangerous. But the paw didn't attack. Instead, it gently landed on his head. That familiar head pat motion gave Lao Yu a jolt. See conductor? The husky nodded, then rubbed Lao Yu's head with its paw before pulling back. It's really you, conductor. How did you turn into a dog? Qizhao summoned the screen and typed with his paw, don't panic. I'll turn back as soon as the train starts moving. Lao Yu nodded after reading it. So bizarre. The conductor had actually swapped souls with a dog. During the meantime, Qizhao woke up a few more times, but each time he was knocked out again by Lao Yu and Qizhao. By 10:50, the earliest departure time, Qizhao decided to start the train. Train departing. Please stay seated and hold on tight. As the announcement played, Qizhao's body jolted. The next second, his soul returned to his original body. Qizhao instinctively rubbed the back of his head. Hiss. Damn, that hurt. No wonder the impact knocked Lai Liu out. That was a nasty hit. Lai Liu woke up next and immediately bared his teeth, barking furiously. He only barked twice before his body lit up with a dazzling white glow. When the light faded, Lai Liu vanished completely. All that remained was a silver coin on the ground, marking that he had once been there. Qizhao got up and picked up the coin. Engraved on it was a lean dog with long limbs. At first glance, it looked a lot like Lai Liu. It was the G silver coin. A smile tugged at Qizhao's lips. Nice, got it without breaking a sweat. He flipped it in his fingers a few times, then summoned the screen and activated it. As the little dog icon lit up, the 12 zodiac symbols showed that 4 were now illuminated. If others saw this progress, their jaws would drop. Most people spend their whole lives and can't even get one. Chizhou had been in this game for less than 2 months and already had 4. And more importantly, he still had the high pig silver coin sealed in that photo. So really, he'd already collected a total of 5. None of this would have been possible without the station forecast module. Without it, how could Chizhou have progressed so fast? In just 2 months, he'd already achieved what others might take years to do. Now imagine someone else. Without the station forecast. Waking up to find themselves a dog when the train stops. Their key skills wouldn't work. Their items would be gone. They couldn't even speak. Just bark. They'd be confused, panicked, terrified. But Chizhou had Anchor Point Rewind too. A life-saving module. Which made it easy for him to get a silver coin that others would never even dream of obtaining. Before level 30, the station forecast doesn't even hint at what kind of actions will yield rewards. It only shows the station name, danger level, where treasure chests are, what you might get from them, longest stop time during thunder season, and how many train coins are needed during wind season. Now it's giving more and more detailed information. As his level goes up, the special module functions grow stronger too. And Chizhou was more determined than ever to collect all 12. He couldn't help wondering. What bonus would Zijian's station reward module gain at level 30? Too bad he didn't even have enough train coins for his own upgrades at the moment. No way he could level up her account anytime soon. Speaking of which, where the hell's that bounty? Just as Chizhou was about to bug them again, a message arrived from Orderly Heaven. The bounty and merit points had been settled and delivered. Chapter 208, Bounty is in. Chizhou had previously captured Huangda and Hongdi alive, killed Alvida, and also took down one of the Pingjing 9 thieves. Hidden thread. Adding in the train he sold to Orderly Heaven, one thing after another had built up to a total of 480 merit points. But to exchange for a level 8 key, he needed 5,000 merit points. Still a long way off. Chizhou sighed. Fortunately, the bounty money had already been transferred to his card. Because Huangda and Hongdi were captured alive, their bounties were paid in full. 100 each. Alvida was dead, so the bounty was only 70% of the original. 70 coins. Altogether, that made 270 coins. Since the mission was a joint effort with Wei Chu, the bounty was split evenly. Chizhou received 135 coins. As for Hidden Thread, Chizhou handled that once solo and earned 770 coins. Originally, Hidden Thread's bounty was 1,100, but since he was dead, Chizhou only got 70%. Dead bodies just aren't worth as much as live ones. Even 70% was considered generous. Most wanted criminals only net half the original amount if brought in dead. Of course, some bounties paid the same regardless of life or death. Take Konyu, for example. Chizhou immediately withdrew all the train coins from his savings card. 905 coins in total. Adding the 37 coins still in his hand, and 20 more from this morning's station stop, he had 962 coins altogether. His balance was once again pushing close to 1,000. Train coins secured. Time to upgrade. Chizhou checked the remaining upgrade materials right away. His wood supply was still solid, but both metal and plastic were running critically low. He had just enough to level up once. And that was it. Only enough for one level. He tossed 100 train coins into the material input zone and tapped the upgrade button. His travel qualification bar, which had been at 139%, dropped down to 39%. If you don't upgrade and just keep traveling, travel qualification will keep increasing like this. So not upgrading doesn't waste your qualification. Each upgrade consumes 100% of your travel qualification. After leveling up to 31, Chizhou looked over the refreshed modification options. Another planting carriage? Should I go for it? It's only 8 train coins. Not expensive. Do it. He threw in the 8 coins and chose to convert one of the enlarged carriages into a planting carriage. The other 2 mods were useless. One was a color change, and the other. Another color change. Totally wasting my refresh options. You could have at least given me a toilet or something. Chizhou shook his head and closed the screen. Now that he had the train coins, a new problem popped up. Forget travel qualification. The upgrade materials weren't enough anymore. Right now in the train's inventory, 870 kg of metal, 1,590 kg of plastic, and 8,000 kg of wood. Chizhou now needed 2,400 kg of metal and 1,200 kg of plastic per level up. Back to collecting metal and plastic. Damn it. Other games switch to rarer upgrade materials later on. Like vibranium or advanced upgrade sets or whatever. They're rare, sure, but you don't need tons of them. You can still get them. But this game? Whether you're level 1 or almost maxed out, the required materials don't change. Just the quantities double like crazy. Chizhou had asked Konyu about this. Konyu said, back in the day, high-level upgrades did use different materials than low-level ones. But that rule had been manually changed at some point. Chizhou didn't get it. What was that person thinking? Just like he didn't get what Zhang Zuan was thinking when he added that incomprehensible rule. If it were me, and I collected all 12 zodiac silver coins and maxed out my level, I'd add a rule that benefits me personally. Right now, Chizhou still naively believed that adding game rules was like making a wish. Later, he'd find out. That idea was dead wrong. Calabash Kid, I'm Lao Yu, the Calabash Kid standing on a chair. Lao Yu fished out the last chicken beak from the bottom of the auto veggie farming machine and tossed it into the nearby blue turnover bin. Those exotic beast parts that the auto compost bin couldn't digest weren't exchangeable for train coins. But you could still trade them for metal and plastic, which was definitely worth it. Chizhou had handed off all matters of collecting and exchanging materials to Zijian and Lao Yu. He himself spent most of his time training with Li Huizi in the gravity carriage. They often sparred with wooden swords to refine their swordsmanship, sharpening each other's skills, learning as they went. Ziji, I'm here. Got all the claws and beaks from those steel claw-age chickens. Lao Yu carried the blue bin inside by himself. Why didn't you use the golden gourd to transport these? Doesn't it tire you out? Not at all. Super light, hee hee. Zijian shook her head and said with admiration, no wonder he's a Calabash Kid. Ziji, I dropped it all off in the trading zone. There's still one more bin almost ready. I'm going to get it. As Lao Yu bent down to set the bin on the ground, a shiny gold coin slipped out of his pocket. He quickly picked it up, scratching his head as he grinned. That's my salary from the conductor, hee hee. Means I can unlock a new game tonight. Zijian rolled her eyes, speechless. He only gave you one? Yeah, one's enough. One game only costs 1 train coin. Zijian. Lao Yu beamed, conductor's the best. He gives me train coins so I can activate whatever I want. Liu, you could earn way more at any random factory out there. Wait a minute, I haven't gotten a single coin. Fuck. No way. I'm going to ask for a salary too. Liu, hold up. I'll ask for yours too. Huh? Ask for what? I didn't ask for anything. Lao Yu looked baffled as he watched Zijian walk away. She came back not long after, looking smug. Ziji, you got the salary? Of course. When your Ziji makes a move, 1 equals 2. Mr. Tightwad said once we finish processing these exotic beast remains, we'll each get 10 train coins. How's that, huh? Ziji's awesome, right? Lao Yu pumped his fist in the air and cheered, whoa, long live Ziji. Let's get to work. I'll go haul the rest. Work, work, work. When it's done, we'll split it 50-50. Hell yeah. Zijian recalled her verbal sparring match with Chizhou earlier, arguing over pay for herself and Lao Yu. Her lips curled into a smile as she nodded. A warm sense of pride rose in her chest. Humphrey, that's just how amazing I am. At 7:50 a.m., the moment the train arrived at the station, Chizhou opened the door and let Black Wind Monster and Little Fire Dragon out to play. This was a real beach. Not one of those stinky ones. It was a bit chilly in the early morning. Sunlight sparkled on the sea surface, casting a beautiful glow. Chizhou stretched lazily and exhaled a long breath. He had already checked yesterday. Today's station was just a regular beach. No danger. No treasure chests. No events. Nothing at all. Naturally, a station like this would contribute very little travel qualification. Chapter 209, Fish Hall. Black Wind Monster and Little Fire Dragon chased each other on the beach, having the time of their lives. Chizhou twisted his neck, making cracking sounds. Man, he had trained too long with Li Huizi in the gravity carriage yesterday. Thank goodness for the massage air to relax afterward. He couldn't keep pushing himself like this. He needed to train with a plan, with purpose. Lately, under triple gravity, he was about to break the half-hour 5-kilometer barrier. That was a huge breakthrough. Persistence really pays off. Zijian, Lao Yu, and Li Huizi also stepped out of the train, running toward the beach under the sun. They were dressed in shorts, flip-flops, and sun hats. Classic summer beach vacation vibes. This is great. Now this is what a real ocean looks like. The sea breeze brushed against their faces. No foul stench. No walking fish. Right. Perfect time to test out that whale horn from the walking fish beach. Chizhou stepped on a nanobug and flew above the ocean surface. He took out a milky white horn shaped like a spiral whale tusk. Whale horn. Blow it and nearby fish would be drawn toward it. Chizhou puffed up his cheeks and blew the whale horn. Woo-oo. The melodious horn echoed out, and the once calm sea suddenly rippled with motion. Nearby fish were attracted by the sound and surged over. They leapt out of the water, trying to get closer to Chizhou. Holy crap, this thing works that well? No wonder it came from a level 5 treasure chest. This was the ultimate bait tool. Actually, forget bait. It was straight up fish sweeping. Chizhou kept blowing the horn while flying back toward the beach. The fish followed the horn's call all the way to shore, even willing to beach themselves. The group playing at the shore froze at the sight. Waves rolled in, carrying hordes of fish chasing after Chizhou, throwing caution to the wind. The sheer number left everyone speechless. Chizhou's eyes lit up. Jackpot. He looked at the others, clapped his hands, and grinned. Everyone get ready. We're about to strike it rich. Huh? What are we doing? Open your eyes and look carefully. What do you see all over this beach? Fish, what else? Wrong. It's money. Cold, hard cash everywhere. We're selling fish. Chizhou immediately told Zhejian to check the trading platform for bulk buyers of sea fish. This station had a maximum stop time of 30 hours. He had to make the most of it. He had earned a bunch of order coins selling zombies in Raccoon City, but after spending some here and there, only around 50,000 were left. There was no way he was passing up a money-making chance. To speed things up, Chizhou pulled out 2 trains from his boundary bracelet. 1 yellow train and 1 purple train. He parked them near the beach. He didn't use his own train. The sheer amount of fish and the seawater they brought would leave a stench. He didn't want his train getting contaminated. Cleaning it later would be a pain. Zhejian and Li Huizi each logged into 1 train. The 2 of them began searching for buyers. While they did that, Chizhou flew deeper into the sea. On his way back, he kept blowing the whale horn, bringing in wave after wave of fish. The schools of fish surged forward, desperate not to lose track. By the time he returned, Zhejian had already found a buyer. She had compared prices. It was the going market rate. Once the buyer confirmed Chizhou really had a ton of fresh sea fish, he began transferring large blue turnover bins for holding fish. Box after box of mackerel, ribbon fish, yellow croaker, and red perch were carried into the carriages by Lao Yu and placed into the trading zone. Helping Lao Yu were Chizhou's 2 reliable aides, Old Master Ren and Crimson Beast. This was Lao Yu's second time seeing this many fish. The first time was back at Walking Fish Beach. Those long-legged, stinky walking fish had seriously scarred him. Compared to those, these fish were adorable. They didn't smell, and they could be sold for cash. Lao Yu sorted the fish by type into different boxes. Once one was full, Old Master Ren and Crimson Beast transported it into the train. The team worked seamlessly, forming a smooth-running assembly line. Chizhou was in charge of luring the fish and killing the big ones. Like sharks. Lao Yu handled sorting, while Old Master Ren and Crimson Beast took care of transport. Zhejian and Li Huizi were in constant contact with the buyer, trading for order coins and empty bins. Hard work equals hard cash. It was exhausting, but satisfying. Seeing stacks of order coins pile up reassured them it was all worth it. They worked like a well-oiled machine, but Chizhou kept luring in more and more fish. By nighttime, they had only processed about 1/3 of the total. Zhejian was utterly exhausted, numbly tapping at the screen. Li Huizi seemed a bit better. Not as wiped out as Zhejian. Chizhou and Lao Yu were still full of energy, especially Lao Yu. He didn't look tired at all. Hey, are we seriously working the night shift too? It's pitch black out. We can't see a thing. Maybe you guys should take a break, Zhejian suggested. Though really, it was because she was the one who needed a break. If not for the constant sight of aura coins stimulating her nerves, she'd probably have passed out already. Can't see? That's no problem. Old Master Ren's eyes lit up like spotlights, instantly illuminating the beach like it was daytime. They had candlelight study sessions in the old days. Now we light up to sell fish. Family, this is money we're talking about. 1 more bin and you can buy a new outfit. 2 bins gets you a fresh pair of Azui sneakers. 5 bins and boom. An Ima corpse bag is yours. So, are you picking or not? Picking, I'm picking, okay? Zhejian was speechless. Was Chizhou so far gone he only saw money now? Damn, this was more tiring than working the death line screwing bolts. But he wasn't wrong. Pick fish, make money. Don't pick, no cash. Thanks to those 2 bottles of kidney energy boost left behind by Hidden Thread, they powered through the entire night. Seriously, that stuff was amazing. After drinking it, they felt totally refreshed. Zero fatigue. Chizhou almost believed its ridiculous ads. They finally stopped 10 minutes before the latest departure time. All the money they'd made was messily piled into 2 blue turnover bins. At first, Zhejian tried to count it all, but later she gave up. It was just too much. Final tally, they hauled in 980,000 aura coins worth of fish. Just 20,000 short of hitting a million. To put that in perspective, 1 million order coins could buy a decent studio apartment in Yurden. Everyone was pretty satisfied with the outcome. Though, yeah, picking that many fish was pretty damn exhausting. Chapter 210, Impact of the 6th game starting early. Actually, if Chi Zhao had stored the train inside his boundary bracelet, he could have stayed docked even longer. That was one of the bugs. As long as the train was inside the bracelet, it didn't matter when it was supposed to depart. But with order coins, having enough was enough. What Chi Zhao lacked now was travel qualification. During this 30-hour stop, his qualification only increased by 1%. You could say it barely budged. So Chi Zhao chose to depart and retreat. That's the downside of a safe, danger-free station. Everything has two sides, after all. Tonight's dinner was cooked entirely by Lao Yu. Chi Zhao marveled once again. Gourd Baby's physique was no joke. After they departed, everyone collapsed onto their beds, not wanting to move. Conductor. Sister Zai. Sister, who is he? Dinner's ready. During dinner, they all wolfed down their food. No small talk whatsoever. After dinner, Chi Zhao rested a bit, then, as usual, headed to the gravity carriage for training. Before long, the train door opened. But it wasn't Li Huizi. It was Lao Yu. He looked panicked, terrified. See, conductor. What's wrong? I lost it. Lost what? I lost the unlimited ammo shotgun you gave me. Just now, I was putting the money you gave me into the golden gourd, and then I realized the shotgun you gave me was just gone. Chi Zhao focused and scanned his boundary bracelet. His own shotgun was still there. He pulled it out and handed it to Lao Yu. If you lost it, whatever. I've still got one. Take this. But in the next second, the gun vanished into thin air. Huh? The shotgun disappeared right in front of his eyes, and even Chi Zhao was dumbfounded. What day is it today? What day is it today? Lao Yu echoed in confusion. Chi Zhao suddenly remembered something. He immediately summoned the screen and checked the message history. When he saw the mass message from 3 days ago about the new game rule edition, it all clicked. Past midnight. Today is the start of the 6th game. The 6th wave of players is here. So. Then what? If stuff's disappearing for no reason, it must be related. All the stuff that vanished, I got them back in Newbie Village. So when a new game starts, do all those items get reclaimed? Chi Zhao frowned. The items were one thing. But what about Lao Yu? What about Black Wind Monster and Little Fire Dragon? Would they also get sent back to Newbie Village? And what about the heavily modified Old Master Ren? The peach tree he'd been cultivating for so long? No way. He had to ask someone for answers. After all, Chi Zhao had only left Newbie Village just over 3 weeks ago. There were still so many rules in this game he hadn't figured out yet. He immediately contacted Kong Yu. He explained what had happened and voiced his concerns. Kong Yu responded quickly. Normal. Those items don't have permanence. Permanence? Another new term. Honestly, you're a little slow. Did you never notice that all items on the trading platform must specify they came from treasure chests? Because only items from treasure chests are permanent. For example, let's say you bring a powerful item from one world. It might not retain its properties. Even if some do, items with extraordinary powers have a quantity limit. Say there's a sword. Only 100 can retain their traits. If someone brings out the 100 first, the first will vanish. Same goes for abilities. If you gain a power in a world, be cautious. It could vanish anytime. But treasure chest items and skill cards don't have that issue. Remember, only stuff from treasure chests is permanent and immune to quantity limits. Ordinary items follow the same rule, but their quantity limits are way higher, so they're rarely affected. But for items with special powers, be very careful. So that's how it was. Someone else must have taken the unlimited ammo shotgun from Dave in Newbie Village, which caused Chi Zhao's version to vanish. Chi Zhao reviewed all the extraordinary items he'd brought from Newbie Village. The 2 unlimited ammo shotguns from Dave. Gone. The 6 plant pots were probably not far behind. And the peach tree sapling pulled out by Monkey Bro. The infinite water tank from Minecraft. Most important of all, the peach tree. He had poured so much effort into getting those legendary peaches. Just the auto veggie farming machines. He'd bought 8. Not to mention all the train coins spent on fertilizer, and the amount of magical multi-use fertilizer used. Just selling it would be worth at least 200 train coins. If he woke up one day and it was gone, he'd cough up blood. And there was also his word spirit, time 0. He didn't get it from a treasure chest either, so it was at risk too. Damn it. He had thought the early start of the game wouldn't affect him. Now he realized. He was completely wrong. This was a newly added rule. It affected not just the next batch of players, but everyone. As for the people or creatures you mentioned, that's a different concept. First, you need to know. Each world you stop at is different. Most worlds have a timeline that keeps moving forward. Even without trains stopping, life goes on. Everything you do affects their future. But some worlds operate in a time loop. These loops can be short or long. Some as short as 24 hours, others over a decade. If someone comes from a looping world, there's a chance they'll vanish. Fuck, a looping world? That meant Lao Liu might disappear too? Qizhao froze. After understanding all this, his head started pounding. He thought he had 10 years. Now it looked like just one bad nap could make Lao Liu, the peach tree, his word spirit, and black wind monster all vanish. Damn it, newbie village lasts a full month. 12 days of internship, 3 weeks of seasonal transitions. Total of 33 days. So for the next 33 days, I have to live in constant fear? Please let Lao Liu, Monkey Bro, and Big Brother not be from a looping world. He genuinely prayed. Come to think of it, the station forecast didn't say if a world was a loop. Was his level not high enough yet? Maybe it would show that info at a higher level? Too bad. There was no way to find out. People with special modules were too rare. And those who had them wouldn't just leak sensitive info like that. Chapter 211, pausing the investment. If everything followed the usual schedule, the 6th game wouldn't start until 10 years later. During that time, only people with the station travel module could enter the newbie village. And since that module was so rare, there was almost no need to worry about them bringing out new items that would cause mine to disappear. After all, there were tons of stations, and station travel could only take you to multiplayer stations or single-player stations you'd been to before. But things were different now. 100 million newbies from the 6th game were already wandering around newbie village. 100 million people. So, the 2 unlimited ammo shotguns in Qizhao's hands vanished on the very first day of the game. How many guns did Dave send out, seriously? Who knows? Maybe someone like Ma Hongyan got lucky and scored a special module. Always assume the worst-case scenario first. Let's say Monkey Bro's place really is a looping world. If someone wanted that peach tree sapling, they'd have to meet 2 conditions at least. 1. Find Monkey Bro. 2. Give him explosive diarrhea. Both of those are pretty tough, actually. The 5-finger mountain pinning Monkey Bro down was just a little dirt mound the size of a grave. Super inconspicuous. If Qizhao hadn't been yelling Baima and like crazy back then, he probably wouldn't have even found Monkey Bro. As for the second condition, Monkey Bro had eaten a pile of spicy sticks, fried chicken, ice-cold cola, chocolate, self-heating hot pot. A wild mess, hot and cold foods alternating, the finest of modern-day junk food science. That's what gave him the runs. If Qizhao didn't have station forecast and hadn't leveled up super fast, everyone else barely had enough food for themselves. Who would have had leftovers to feed Monkey Bro? And besides, they didn't even know feeding Monkey Bro would increase favorability. Who would give up survival rations just to feed a monkey stuck under a mountain at a time like that? Then there was that overpass station. Even Qizhao didn't know why his word spirit triggered. The weird part was, the word spirit didn't even activate until after he left. If someone else had gone into that rain-drenched overpass and run into the God King Odin riding his 8-legged steed, plus a whole horde of death servants, who could have walked out of that Nibel dungeon alive? Qizhao only made it out by bluffing Odin, using an level 8 treasure chest, anchor point rewind, and early departure. Most importantly, he had station forecast to get the drop on intel. Take away any one of those, and he'd be out of the game. That station had a danger level of 7, after all. Anyone who went in and made it back alive? Probably 1 in a million. So yeah, word spirit, time 0 probably isn't a big deal. Now that Qizhao had calmed down and thought things through, he was feeling a lot better. That initial panic was already gone. Speaking of which, who knows how long that peach tree will take to grow, bloom, and bear fruit. It's not like it has a progress bar or anything over it. Even if he threw in fertilizer like crazy for a month, it probably wouldn't be enough. Might as well call it quits for now. Once the 6th game newbies leave newbie village, if the peach tree hasn't disappeared, he can always resume investing in it then. Of course, fertilizer production had to keep going. That couldn't stop. With that in mind, Qizhao gave Lao Liu his first order. Store up all the fertilizer for now. This month, don't apply any to the peach tree. After Lao Liu left, Qizhao looked at his retreating back and suddenly remembered what happened before they first met. After he arrived on the island, he rode the motorcycle straight to the lighthouse to get a treasure chest. Then the motorcycle got stolen by Dawa and Sanwa. He chased after them all the way to their hideout. Their grandpa, the old man on Nightlight Island, once said, "You're part of the 4th wave." Didn't that mean Laoyu's world wasn't a looping world? Chijiao's eyes lit up at the thought. No. Wait. He shook his head. There's still another possibility, maybe that world has a really long loop cycle. I need to know if higher level station forecasts can reveal whether a station is part of a looping world. And I'll still need the station travel module. Even if the cycle resets, I could still go bring Laoyu back. Hold on. Would he turn back into a gourd on the vine by then? Would he even remember me? Damn it. Just thinking that Laoyu might suddenly vanish one morning made Chijiao feel deeply unsettled. He'd already come to see this obedient little bro as family. And losing family? That's something Chijiao simply couldn't accept. There's nothing I can do about Laoyu right now. All I can do is pray that Nightlight Island isn't a looping world. The next morning, 7:50 a.m. This stop was Snowy Mountain, and Chijiao and the others didn't even bother going out. The station forecast didn't show anything worth getting. Pocketing the station reward of 20 train coins, Chijiao glanced at the white snow-covered landscape outside, then turned around and headed back to the bedroom. At 10:50, once the earliest departure time hits, they'd just leave. There was no point staying in a place like this. Barely any travel qualification to gain here. Inside the bedroom, Zhejian was still asleep. From what he'd observed lately, she didn't seem to be acting strange anymore. That tentacle monster was most likely dealt with. Chijiao. There's a level 6 treasure chest that needs a quick sale. The current asking price is 155 train coins. Chijiao had found a level 6 key back in the castle on Paradise Island. Too bad he didn't have a chest to use it on, so he'd told Zhejian to keep an eye out. If she saw any urgent or underpriced listings, she should let him know. Market price for level 6 chests was about 160 train coins. 155? Try to haggle a bit more. Chijiao handed her 150 train coins. Zhejian's eyes flashed. Just about to sass him. But Chijiao beat her to it and said, "Whatever you knock off is yours." Hearing that, Zhejian instantly perked up. She patted her chest and promised, "Leave it to me. I'll slash that price, no problem." In the end, she got it down to 145 train coins, earning a 5-coin margin. A flash of white light. And Chijiao had a level 6 treasure chest in his hands. It was a small red shoulder bag. Just big enough to fit a claw machine, finely made, high-quality leather. Quick, open it. Let's see what's inside. Zhejian looked excited. She'd been keeping an eye on listings for a long time to find this deal. When a silver, intricately engraved hairpin with a blue gem on the end tapped the bag, there was a click, and the little lock popped open. Chijiao reached in and transferred the train coins to his boundary bracelet. Aside from the coins, the inner pocket held only a single gray card. It's actually a costume card. Chapter 212, Seasonal Transition. Rainy season incoming. Chijiao immediately summoned the screen. Permanent costume card. Barber. Detected. Activate now. So it was just a basic profession-style costume. Still, at least it was permanent. Might as well use it. It's basically the same as learning a new skill. His SD costume card got used up completely back at Walking Fish Beach, burned through all its outfit value in one go. Now all he had left was the Silver Knight, which he hadn't used yet. But just like his teeth, that one wasn't a permanent card either. Once the costume card was activated, Chijiao could even choose his hairstyle aesthetic. There were options like fashion-forward, retro artsy, edgy and cool. He could also choose to keep his current outfit unchanged. Chijiao chose to keep his current look, but after the change, a massive amount of hairdressing knowledge flooded his brain. Stuff like understanding different hairstyles. Buzz cut, round cut, square cut, short, medium, long. And who they suited. How to use pro barber tools, electric clippers, scissors, razors, thinning shears. All kinds of cutting techniques, like layered cuts, sliding cuts, thinning, and so on. Even perming and dyeing skills were now second nature. He could design styles to suit someone's facial features, vibe, skin tone, personal style, and the occasion. Basically, Chijiao felt like he'd been a barber for 30 years. This stuff was all second nature now. So this was the power of a costume card, huh? And that's not all. Chijiao could now conjure up barber tools out of thin air. With just a thought, a comb appeared in his left hand, and scissors in his right. Of course, it wasn't free. The cost was mental strength. But it didn't use up much. About the same as using the delete clothes skill on a regular outfit. Chijiao looked at Zhejian, the corners of his lips curling up. Perfect? Time to test it out on this one. Zhejian felt a chill run down her spine under Chijiao's stare. That crooked smile? Never a good sign. What are you doing? She instinctively backed away. Your hair's getting long, sis. Let me give you a trim. Zhao jerked his chin and clicked the scissors a few times. Snip, snip. Then he conjured a barber's cape and tied it around Zijian's neck. Whoa whoa whoa. Don't mess around. 10 minutes later, Zijian was holding a mirror, looking at her new haircut, and let out an earth-shaking shriek. I said trim it a bit, not chop it all off. Her hair used to reach down her back. Now it barely touched her shoulders. Even Li Huizi, drawn over by the noise, gave a faint smile. Looks good. Zijian knew it looked good. But it was just way too short. She hadn't cut her hair this short since high school. Her head felt so light. She wasn't used to it at all. Then it was Li Huizi's turn. She sat upright, tilted her chin up to let Zhao tie the cape. Her Heim cut usually needed touching up every 2 weeks, but since they got here, it had been 2 months. By now, it didn't even count as a Heim cut anymore. Zhao didn't even ask what she wanted. He just cut it into the style he saw her with the very first time. Long straight hair down the back, reaching the waist. Flat bangs across the forehead, just at eyebrow level. And the side locks hanging in front of her ears were trimmed to chin length. In short, the signature trio, long and straight, flat bangs, and long side locks. Thanks to his barber costume, Zhao was crystal clear on all the technicals. He quickly finished trimming Li Huizi's hair. Looking into the mirror, Li Huizi's eyes lit up. Zhao, you're amazing. That's the perfect princess cut. His technique was even better than the top stylists at big salon chains. Zhao, were you a barber before? Your haircutting skills are insane. Zhao just smiled. Wasn't before, but maybe now he is. With Zijian and Li Huizi done, next up was Lao Yu. Come on, Lao Yu. Just a quick clean-up. Why yes, conductor. Nervously, Lao Yu sat down. This was his first haircut ever. Feeling the electric clippers and scissors buzz across his head, he was both excited and curious. The conductor is cutting my hair. So awesome. Soon, Zhao was done with Lao Yu too. Just a slight trim on his original style. Zhao patted Lao Yu's head. Alright, go wash up. Make sure to blow dry your hair after. Ask your sister Zai for the hair dryer. After cutting all 3 of their hair, Zhao felt a little tired. Mainly from summoning and maintaining the tools. It drained mental strength. The 3 went off to wash and dry their hair. Zhao flopped down onto the massage chair and tapped relax mode. He pulled up the screen and opened the daily junk messages from Wei Chu. Zhao would sometimes reply. Though the guy just sent nothing but nonsense. Zhao Wan rejected me again and again and again. Ugh, did I do something wrong? She said a man should focus on work. Told me to aim for a squad leader spot in the capture division. Do you think that means if I become a squad leader, she'll go out with me? Help me analyze this, Zhao. I'm going nuts. Is that really what she means? I'm so stressed I can only eat 3 burgers a day. No appetite at all. The capture division of Orderly Heaven was in charge of hunting down wanted criminals. Current chief was Dong Hei Aizui, with no vice chief for now. The former vice chief, Anoka Yanzi, had defected. Under the chief were 10 squad captains. Then came vice captains, squad members, and prelim candidates. Li Huizi's brother, Li Dianshan, used to be a prelim candidate in the capture division. Above prelims were intern team members. Pass the internship, and you'd be assigned to a fixed squad. Zhao and Wei Chu were a bit special. They were special recruits, and hadn't been placed in any squad yet. They were currently under Dong Hei Aizui's direct command. Could be. Try becoming a squad leader first. Then see how she reacts. Really? Yeah. Some women are into career-driven guys. Oh, I get it now. Zhao Wan likes that type. I see it clearly now, Zhao. You're a genius. Woke me right up. Oh yeah, I just got a durian pizza. Transferring it to you guys to eat. Another message popped up. You've received an item from Wei Chu. Please collect it promptly. This guy always seems to have so much free time. But Wei Chu's level had jumped from 20 to 27 in no time. Clearly someone with a special module. Growing fast made sense. Now Zhao was really curious what new features mission must be accomplished would unlock at level 30. He took the durian pizza and set it on the nightstand. It was pretty big. Marked as 15 inches on the box. Just then, a long-lost broadcast announcement rang out. Good evening, dear conductors. The seasons are about to change. Thunder season will end at midnight tonight. The upcoming season is rainy season. Huh? Already time for a seasonal transition? Crap. It's that super gross rainy season. This season is known for high humidity and warm temps, where everything easily gets damp and moldy. Hence the nickname mold rain. They say that without proper food storage, your food will spoil and go moldy in a single day. And inside the train, The humidity would be off the charts. Droplets all over the carriages and even the ceiling. Chapter 213, Security Duty for the Airgate Ribbon Cutting Ceremony. At this very moment, the shampoo trio. Lao Yu had short hair and was the first to finish washing. Zijian was blow-drying his hair with a hairdryer. They were both stunned when they heard the broadcast. What's going on? The season changed already? Lao Yu turned his head, confused. Sis Zai, what's the rainy season? Lao Yu had never heard a lot of these terms before. The rainy season is a time that's hot, humid, and sticky. In short, it's just super uncomfortable. A really annoying season. Once you've been through it, you'll know. It's worse than summer or winter. As she spoke, a look of disgust crept onto Zijian's face. Back when she was in college, it rained non-stop during the rainy season, and she couldn't even dry her laundry. Even if it did dry, it had this damp, musty smell. And it still felt wet and sticky to the touch. Totally gross. But we should be fine. Qizhao already upgraded the central air conditioning, and there's also a cabinet-style unit. We can just run the dehumidifier all the time. The only issue is the food. We'll probably have to move it to a carriage with the upgraded central AC. Otherwise, if it gets damp, everything'll go bad. It's fine, Sis Zai. I've got the golden gourd the conductor gave me. I'll go move it when the time comes. Silly kid, don't be so eager to take on everything. Zijian ruffled Lao Yu's head. Alright, you're all dry. Hui, you done? If so, I'll blow dry yours too. Summer, winter, wind season, thunder season, and the rainy season. The new world cycles through these 5 seasons. But how long each season lasts isn't fixed. Only the order is set. Rainy season? Never heard of it. Special module. Fake newbie. Train stays at constant temperature and humidity. Say goodbye to summer, winter, and the rainy season. An absolute must-have for travel, adventure, and daily living. It's been over half a month since that module was activated. Not far off from when Kongyu predicted thunder season would end. Makes sense. After all, she's a seasoned veteran with 10 years under her belt. Figuring out the seasonal patterns is natural. Just don't know how long this rainy season will last. Usually when the rainy season comes, food sales spike. Because a lot of people don't have the means to store food. They just buy online and eat as they go. Besides food problems, being uncomfortable on the train is also a huge issue. Even with air conditioning and 24/7 dehumidifying, it doesn't help much. Unless it's someone like Qizhao. His constant temp and humidity come from a special module. Power of the rules. WTF, the season changed again? I just got used to thunder season. Rainy season? Damn, my underwear's never gonna dry. Looks like I need to prep more clean undies. Qizhao looked deadpan. Wei Chu's thought process was as wild as ever. What you just said makes a lot of sense. I've got a goal now. I'm gonna become the capture division's squad leader. I'm going to take on the department's missions. Rack up merit points and experience. Aim to be squad leader ASAP. Win Zhao Wan's heart and reach the peak of life. Ha ha ha. The capture division does post missions aside from catching wanted criminals. You can choose to accept them, and rewards are given depending on difficulty. But Qizhao had never taken any. Ever since completing the task Dong Heizui personally assigned, he hadn't picked up a single mission. He's just been traveling solo, building up his travel qualifications and leveling up. Humphrey. Setting up organizations and departments, using so-called merit and ranks to get people running around doing tasks. The real goal is to stop them from peacefully traveling, gaining experience, and leveling up. It's just one of the ways the higher-ups keep control. No way he's taking missions. Even though the coordinator sends him new ones every day, Qizhao just gives them a glance. Hey, this one's kinda interesting. Zune says there's a security detail needed for the first ribbon-cutting ceremony of the air gate. If we do it well, there's a decent merit reward. Yuan, Qizhao? Let's go together. Seems pretty easy. Is this newly posted? Why don't I remember it? Qizhao opened his chat with the coordinator. And yep, there was a new task. Zune Airgate Security Mission. Qizhao clicked in to view the details. Zune and Yurden are both public stations, and the only way to travel between them is by train. But Zune developed an amazing invention. The Airgate. It can connect two public stations, letting people or goods pass through Yurden's gate and instantly arrive in June. Same works in reverse. Previous tests were completed, and the Airgate is now in full operation. The trade chief of Orderly Heaven and the chief inspector will be heading to Zune for the so-called ribbon-cutting ceremony. Of course, Zune's top officials will also travel to Yurden for the event. The goal of this security task is to prevent anyone from forcing their way into Yurden via the Airgate. There's a merit reward after the mission ends. Should I go? Qizhao rubbed his chin. He definitely needed merit. He was still far from having enough to redeem a level 8 key. But more than merit, Chizhao wanted to focus on leveling up. Once he hit level 40, he wanted to see what new features would unlock in the station forecast module. Neither Orderly Heaven nor the online bounty platform Utopia had any info on that. The only lead was Zhongxuan. He was max level and also had the station forecast module. But Chizhao had no way to reach him. The only possible link, Konyu, wasn't that close to him either. And even if he got in touch, what would he say? Your ex from 10 years ago asked me to find you? Who knows what kind of guy Zhongxuan is? For all we know, he's a playboy who's long forgotten the shopkeeper. It has been 10 years, after all. 10 years is enough to change a lot. And the shopkeeper now doesn't look anything like she did back then. Chizhao thought of her black ram's head and shuddered involuntarily. Shaking off his scattered thoughts, Chizhao replied, no time. Not going. Chizhao replied. Alright. Then I'll sign up myself. So when are you coming to Ziyun? Let's go to the bathhouse again. My treat. This time we go to the second floor. Chizhao raised a brow at the tone. What, came into some money? A little, gotta enjoy it with the brothers. Looked like the mission must be accomplished module dropped him some good loot. It really was a solid module. Chizhao sighed again. Just then, his bonded ring buzzed slightly. Konyu messaged him. 3 days from now, Ziyun and Yurden will host the air gate ribbon cutting. Orderly Heaven is making moves. So it was about that. Chizhao briefly explained the mission he just got. All this energy for ribbon cutting? Feels like a waste. Air gates consume massive energy, so they're definitely not just doing a simple ceremony. They're probably transporting a ton of stuff. So what's Sister you suggesting? This is a great chance for us to sneak into Yurden. Chizhao couldn't help but grin. Seriously? Didn't you guys just raid Dream Palace and Paradise? You're going again? No break, no post-battle debriefing? Chizhao really felt like he was working for 2 rival companies at once. If he got caught, his career was toast. Sign up for the mission. The exact plan depends on what spot you're assigned to. Damn it. Now he had to go. Chizhao reluctantly contacted the coordinator and accepted the security assignment. Chapter 214, Exchange Rate Fluctuation at 10:50, Chizhao chose to head to Ziyun. The train set off. Conductor. Conductor. Do you need me to move the food from the back carriages to the front? Huh? Chizhao was mid-training in the gravity carriage and looked totally confused. Why move that stuff? It's fine where it is. Isn't the rainy season about to start? Those carriages don't have central air conditioning. Sisai said the food might mold. Chizhao chuckled when he heard that. Man. I thought it was something serious. Nope, it won't. Don't worry. Alright then, I'll get back to making fertilizer. With that, Lao Yu dashed off again in his usual whirlwind. No wonder he's a gourd baby. Full of energy. Just as Lao Yu left, Zijian stormed in right after. Chizhao. Chizhao. As soon as she entered the gravity carriage, she dropped to her knees with a thud. Damn, how much gravity you got going on in here? Chizhao adjusted the gravity setting and helped her up. What's got you so worked up? I saw in the group chat that Yurden and Ziyun just opened some kind of air gate. Now it'll be way easier for trade between the 2 places. News like this really does spread fast. Yeah? And? Now that Yurden and Ziyun are officially connected, the flow of order coins is gonna get a lot smoother. Other than places like Moonlight Alley and Future City where tons of outsiders gather, order coins haven't really been used. But soon, they'll probably be accepted everywhere in Ziyun. I'm guessing the exchange rate will shift too. Right now, the rate is 1 order coin to 0.87 Ziyun gold. Orderly Heaven is taking the lead in this partnership. So the value should go up. Now's a good time to stockpile order coins. Chizhao gave Zijian a look of disbelief. You figured this out yourself, or did you see it in the group chat? Of course it was. Zijian flinched under his stare. I saw it in the group chat. Building relations. Widespread circulation. Dominant control. Rising exchange rates. All in all, it's just a matter of perspective. To Chizhao, this looked more like a massive coin grab operation by Orderly Heaven. They could print order coins basically for free. If they go all in with mass distribution, wouldn't the exchange rate explode? Ziyun's people aren't fools either. There's always a batch of greedy folks who think they're seizing an opportunity, not realizing they're biting down on a hook. Order coins can't be converted back into train coins. Even if the rate was 1 train coin to 10,000 order coins, Chizhao wouldn't do it. Because train coins are the real currency of this world. They're the anchor and foundation. Compared to that, order coins aren't worth squat. Not even squat. Wait a second, Chizhao suddenly saw a business opportunity. He wasn't going to exchange for order coins, but there'd definitely be people who would. He could totally use this wave to trade all his order coins for train coins. The official rate at Orderly Heaven is 1 to 1,000. If I bump mine up to 1 to 1,100, someone will bite. No hesitation. Chizhao tallied up all his order coins on the spot. There were 70,000 left from the last zombie sale, plus 980,000 from yesterday's fish sales. A total of 1.05 million. If he managed to exchange it all, that'd net him 954 train coins. Of course, he left the task entirely to Zhejian. That kind of bulk, dealing with people, listing items for trade. It'd be a huge time sink. Sure enough, it wasn't just Chizhao. Lots of others also started intercepting train coins that would have gone to Orderly Heaven. But obviously, even with everyone combined, they still couldn't outmatch Orderly Heaven. After all, they can print the stuff themselves. Still, even shaving off a tiny bit from Orderly Heaven's haul meant a lot to Chizhao right now. The next day at 7:50, the train stopped at Zun. The moment they stopped, after confirming there was no danger, Chizhao waved his hand and dismantled all 11 of the rear carriages. He had more than enough carriages. Those newly added empty ones were totally unnecessary. Besides, those carriages had all been used to store exotic beast corpses. They were soaked in blood. Now that he dismantled them, it saved him the trouble of cleaning them up. Apparently this rule had been changed too. Back in the day, the max carriage count was 30. Beyond that, upgrades didn't add new carriages. They just made the steel plates thicker or improved the quality. Exactly how many game rules were added or deleted over the years? Only the old-timers from the first round would know. The original rules were probably already unrecognizable. After dismantling 11 carriages, Chizhao recovered 10,080 kilograms of metal, 5,040 kilograms of plastic, and 3,360 kilograms of wood. Hey, why'd you dismantle the carriages you worked so hard to upgrade? Zhejian asked, confused. Why dismantle them? Because Chizhao had come to a clear realization, it's not about how many carriages you have. It's about the quality. Take Kongyu, for example. Her train only had 12 carriages, but every one of them was an initial carriage that couldn't be dismantled. These regular carriages, no matter how many he had, were pointless. For storing daily supplies, he already had more than enough space. Now it was about streamlining. Ditch the ordinary, keep the premium. Didn't want to make you work too hard trading upgrade materials. This way's faster. Damn, are you trying to skip out on payment? No way. I always deliver. As long as you process those materials, you'll get every last train coin owed. We're allies, aren't we? When have I ever screwed you over? Think about it. Never, right? Right now, I'm selling exotic beast remains, dumping order coins, and watching the chat group around the clock. If it weren't for Lao Yu and Hui helping out, I'd be dead by now. No wonder little Sakura didn't come train with me yesterday. She was helping you. You lazy boss. You've got it easy. Chizhao chuckled. So, my dear ally, how's the order coin sell-off going? Zhejian shot him a glare. Halfway there. We were one of the first to start dumping. Now it's up to 1,300 order coins for one train coin. Chizhao nodded. Looks like plenty of folks were thinking just like him. If it hits 1,400, dump the rest. 1,400? That's a total rip-off. That's the price. Dump as much as we can. Chizhao said with steely resolve, if the rate goes up again, we're out. Keep the rest for ourselves. Fine, whatever you say. Chapter 215, Moonlight Alley. Another encounter with Wu Yu looking at the forest outside, filled with yellow leaves. Chizhao couldn't help but sigh. Unknowingly, this was already his third stop at Zun since arriving in the New World. The first time he stopped in Zun, he sold off the pure love warrior, Li Su-sung, then gave old Master Ren a full-on makeover. On the way back, he happened to run into Kongyu and got 300 train coins and the crucial mod extraction card. Also, he received a bonded ring for future contact. That same night, he and the weak-ass exorcist duo of the succubus cleared up the tentacle monster that had been parasitizing Zhejian. The second stop at Zun was under Dong Heizui's orders. To arrest a group of arms dealers called Huang Lv Hong. After the mission, Wei Chu, who was traveling with him, drew the attention of one of the Pingjing Nine thieves. Hidden Thread. Hidden Thread hired someone to curse-kill him. If not for bumping into that chicken-stealing Taoist, Chizhao might have been done for that time. Luckily, things worked out, and he even managed to kill Hidden Thread, scoring his special module. Fake newbie. Now, this third stop in Zun was due to Kongyu's request. The air gate connecting Yurden and Zun was about to go live, and he had accepted a security job for the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Meanwhile, Kongyu needed his help to launch a sneak attack on Yurden through the air gate. Sigh, being a spy is really not a job for humans. Plenty of people probably took on this mission. Hopefully they'll stick me somewhere low-key. Because he was back in June where there was signal, Chi got a bunch of messages on his claw machine, mobile, number. Piltoverbank good news, good news. Piltoverbank's personal jumbo CDs are now hot sellers. 1-year plan exclusive for new clients and new funds, annual interest rate 1.75%, 3-year plan, 2.2%. Limited quota. Another 3-year fixed-term plan starts at $50K, with up to 2.15% annual interest. For more, visit the Vanilla Street branch, ask for Molly Mona. Reply R to unsubscribe. DA Beautiful Aesthetic Tech Park. Seeking beauty is human nature. DA Beautiful makes the already beautiful you even more stunning. Now featuring magnetic levitation breast implants. Beauty without the burden. Visit at Pioneer Mechanical City, Zone Z13. Need a loan short on funds? Zoom Gold not enough? Enjoy a large 30-day interest-free loans now. Click the link for more. Crap. All garbage ads. Why is there always sales promotion wherever you go? Is the end of the universe just dead? Chi turned on Do Not Disturb mode to auto-block these spam calls and messages. Huh? Chi eyes lit up. Among all the spam, he spotted a message from Wu Yu. Fellow Taoist Chi, it's Wu Yu. I got the claw machine number you left with old Zhong. By the way, that guy's stingy F. Every time he sees me he demands I pay him back for the chicken. That message had been sent 3 days ago. Chi immediately replied, telling Wu Yu everything that had happened to him and expressing his gratitude. He waited a while, but Wu Yu didn't reply. Was he not in Zune now? Chi tried calling Wu Yu. After a few rings, the system said no one was answering. Later in the afternoon, Lao Yu dropped a big box in front of Chi grinning wide. Conductor, big haul. A stack of order coins, and a whole box full of train coins. Compared to Lao Yu, Zhejian had droopy eyelids and gave Chi a look full of resentment. All sold off. 1.05 million order coins, exchanged for a total of 845 train coins. Like you said, we saved 100k order coins. All here. Conductor, I already counted, the numbers are accurate. Lao Yu raised his hand and reported, Sister Zai didn't stash any for herself, it's all here. Zhejian? Chi nodded. Good job. I'm taking the big cut. For the betterment of our train and a better life. These 45 coins, you guys split them. Seeing the 45 train coins Chi left behind, Zhejian's eyes lit up. The fatigue vanished in an instant. All her complaints disappeared without a trace. 45 coins. 45 coins. That's 15 coins each. We're rich, we're rich. Right, go get ready. We're going out for dinner later. After putting away the train coins, Chi called a shuttle and headed for Moonlight Alley. Another reason for dismantling the extra carriages was now evident. To speed up storage. The special storage slot in the Phase 2 boundary bracelet could store large items like a train. But the mass of the item affected the retrieval time. The lighter it was, the faster the storage process. 3 people, 1 dog, 1 dragon arrived at Moonlight Alley again. After a big meal at Fragrant Spicy BBQ, they left rubbing their stomachs. Zhejian and Li Huizi went off shopping together. Chi and Lao Yu sat outside the Magic Elixir bar, each with a cup of their signature drink. Aloe Hawthorn tea. It was said to help with digestion, increase appetite, and relieve constipation. Tasted sweet and tangy, with added aloe pulp for a refreshing mouthfeel. Lao Yu downed his in a few gulps, then burped loud. Can do. Conductor, I need to poop. This tea works that well? No, probably just ate too much earlier. Lao Yu scratched his head awkwardly. Your BBQ was just too good, hee hee. Go on, there's a public toilet in that alley across the street. Chi took the dog leash from Lao Yu. Suddenly, it was just him and the black wind monster. He remembered the last time he met Wu Yu. It was nearby. Yep, the alley over there led to the Kiln Chicken shop. Chi glanced for a bit, then shook his head. No way he's stealing chicken again, right? Just as Chi looked away, someone in a blue cotton robe, slinging a small satchel and wearing a high ponytail came tumbling out of the alley. Behind him, the Kiln Chicken shop owner chased while cursing, "Fuck your granny. Every damn time you show up, it's at my place. Get your ass back here." Just like last time, Chi pulled out a train coin and handed it to the Kiln Chicken shop owner. Wu Yu plopped down right there, hugged the medicinal Kiln Chicken, and started chowing down, oil dripping from his mouth. Here, have a drumstick. Chi shook his head with a smile. Already full. You enjoy. Seeing Wu Yu choking a little, Chi went to get him a cup of lemon water. Thanks for helping last time. No problem. Didn't you treat me to chicken too? A chicken for a chicken. I'll repay you 100-fold. I replied to your message, but you didn't respond. Even called but couldn't get through. Thought you weren't in Zune. Huh? No, my claw machine was out of battery. Ugh, I couldn't find a place to charge yesterday, so it shut off. Actually, something's been bothering me. Speak freely, fellow Taoist Chi. Back when I got cursed, I only made it thanks to your protective charm. But the guy who cursed me? He's still out there. I'm afraid he'll come for me again. Oh, no worries. Wu Yu licked his fingers as he spoke. The guy who cursed you is already dead. Chi Zhao froze on the spot. His name was Hyuga. Embarrassing to admit, but he was my junior brother. Don't get me wrong though, Master kicked him out ages ago. As he said this, Wu Yu kept waving his hands. I don't know him well, really. Wuda. Was it really that Wuda? The one who cursed him turned out to be the junior brother of the guy who saved him? Chi Zhao was dumbfounded. No wonder Kong Yu promised to help investigate Wuda, but never came up with anything. Chi Zhao didn't think Kong Yu was feeding him bullshit. She'd always done what she said. If she hadn't found anything, then likely nothing was there to find. He'd assumed Wuda was just that cautious. So cautious even Kong Yu couldn't dig up a trace. Turns out, Wuda had been dead for a while. They'd been looking in the wrong direction from the start. No wonder no leads ever turned up. Chi Zhao remembered that Kong Yu had provided the tip when he went after Huang LV Hong. Their intel network was no worse than orderly heavens. Though the Freedom Organization was small, they were sharp. So far, Chi Zhao only knew 2 members of the Freedom Organization. One was Kong Yu. The other, Anoka Yunzin. The first time he met Anoka Yunzin's Yun, Chi Zhao just thought he was some blonde guy. Who'd have thought this dude was actually the defected vice chief of the capture division? Blonde hair, flip-flops, pink boxer shorts. Chi Zhao just couldn't connect that image to the vice chief. Sigh, you really can't judge a book by its cover. Now will you too? With his magical protective charm. Fortune-telling by palm reading. And he even took care of Wuda. Sigh, the world is full of heroes and strange talents like a school of fish crossing the river. Chi Zhao couldn't help but feel moved. You little thief. I just bought those dragon eggs, and you already scarfed them down. Fellow Taoist Chi, I'll hit you up once I get my claw machine charged. With that, Wu Yu carried the chicken in one hand, lemon water in the other, and ran off. Not far away, Zijian and Li Huizi, returning from shopping, saw the whole scene. They quickly ducked behind cover and peeked out. Damn, it's only been a little while. How's he already flirting with another woman? Is that a Taoist priestess? Zijian, what's a priestess? A priestess. Let me think. A priestess is like a female onmyoji. Oh. Thanks to Zijian's explanation, Li Huizi suddenly understood. Why'd she run off like that? Look at the guy chasing her. Probably her man. She got caught cheating red-handed. Of course she ran. Li Huizi nodded. Sounded about right. Zijian, acting like a gossip reporter, ran up to Chi Zhao. Hey, who's that priestess? Priestess? What priestess? Don't play dumb. Hui and I saw everything. You even bought her a drink, TSK. Chi Zhao realized what she meant, smiled, and gave a brief explanation. A guy? Saved your life? Zijian looked skeptical, not buying it. If you don't need your eyes, donate them to someone who does. He's flat, just like you used to be. How could he be a guy? Zijian slowly looked down at herself, then stared at Chi Zhao. What's that supposed to mean? Throwing shade at me? I'm not flat anymore. Chapter 216, Undercurrents Stirring Zune, Piltover, Enforcer Headquarters. Collaborating with those bandits from Orderly Heaven to build the air gate. It's not ideal, but we have no choice. We need them to supply these magical items. Once we unravel the secrets of these tools, Piltover will achieve even greater development. Take this little ring for example. They call it a space ring. A small ring like this can actually store 100 kilograms of goods. If we can decipher the mechanism and mass produce it, no one will ever need to carry heavy bags again. And those potions. Drink one and you gain all sorts of strange abilities. Many of the substances inside are completely unknown to us. The Erden natives don't have advanced tech, so it was easy for those outsiders to dominate them. But we're different here in Piltover. We have the most powerful Hextech. When these travelers first arrived, we used to chase them all over the place. But in the blink of an eye, 50 years have passed, and now we have to bow our heads and work with them. In the end, it's because they can travel across countless worlds and bring back items from other realms. To be honest, if we fought head-on now, we wouldn't stand a chance. They're gaining more and more powerful tools and mysterious powers, while our Hextech has hit a bottleneck. Sigh, we can't compare to them anymore. I know they've always wanted to take over Zune. The only reason they haven't made a move is because of mutual deterrence. After all, we have the Hexed Starburst. Those Hex Cloud bombs buried across the continent, all interconnected. If we trigger them, the entire city of Zune would be reduced to ashes. They know better than to push us too far. Otherwise, they'd walk away with nothing. And what if someone tries to force their way through the air gate? Hey. I know quite a few travelers. One famous traveler from the Dragon Nation once said, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." As long as they don't damage the air gate, let them do whatever they want. If they wear down orderly heaven a bit, I'd be more than happy. Understood, Commander. Go. Once his subordinate left, the office was quiet, down to the sound of his own heartbeat. Orderly heaven was getting more arrogant by the day. Last time, Capture Division Chief Dong Heizui tore apart half of the Xiaoyang district villas under the pretense of hunting level 1 wanted criminal Kong Yu. The worst part? They didn't say a damn thing. No apology. No compensation. Right after that, the Huang LV Hong group, one of the arms dealers he had planted, got captured too. Even though Huang LV Hong was just a small-time supplier at the end of the chain, Piltover took it as a warning. Orderly heaven might as well have said outright, "I know those weapons and gear are being secretly sold by you to fugitives. Better behave." The switch to activate the Hexed Starlink was embedded in his own body. The moment his heart stopped and brain death was detected, every Hex Cloud bomb across Zune would detonate within half a quarter. Thinking of this eased his mind. Worst case? Mutual destruction. You want me to hand over my homeland? Not a fucking chance. Once night fell in Zune, the temperature dropped sharply. In a forest where only cicadas and the wind could be heard, a flash of white light burst forth. And a pink train shaped like a worm appeared. The train doors opened, and a pair of long, pale legs stepped out. Anoka Yun yawned, his hair messy, following behind Kong Yu. This time, Kong Yu pulled out a small golden pill the size of a kumquat. The pill shot out a beam of white light and with a whoosh, stored the train inside. Let's go. Boss said he's already in Zune. We're to meet him in person and discuss the details. Funny, I've been in freedom this long, and this is my first time meeting our boss. Anoka Yun joked, guess he's only just started trusting me, ha ha ha. Chapter 217, I curse you to have a stroke of luck when you step out. Kong Yu chuckled. You're overthinking it. The boss has a very hands-off style. He never bothers with small stuff like this. To be blunt, even if you stood right in front of him, he probably wouldn't know who you are. Anoka Yun forced an awkward smile. Sure. I used to be the deputy director of the capture division, and now that I'm in your free organization, I'm not even worth the boss remembering my name, huh? Otherwise, how do you think this organization got its name? At this point, I feel like I'm the real boss of this place. I'm the one doing everything. He's just the hands-off commander. It was rare to hear Kong Yu complain. Hey. Anoka Yun looked left and right, made sure no one was around, and whispered, that's not something you should say out loud. Be careful or the boss might make things hard for you. Humphrey, you gonna snitch? Of course not. What kind of person do you take me for? Then it's fine. Kong Yu rolled her eyes at him. She pulled out her claw phone and dialed the number she had saved under boss. Beep beep beep. No answer. Kong Yu clicked her tongue. This guy. 10 calls, 9.5 don't go through. Forget it, let's just go straight to the rendezvous point. Soon, a shuttle zoomed over and stopped in front of them. The ride I just called already arrived? That was fast. Anoka Yun nodded and exclaimed, Zune is still the best. Yurden's tech level is seriously falling behind. The shuttle was fast, carrying Kong Yu and Anoka Yun to Moonlight Alley. After finishing the ride, it quickly picked up a new order. It drove automatically to the customer's pickup spot. The door opened on its own. A man, 2 women, a young boy, a dog, and a dragon got in. As soon as they boarded, Lao Yu and Black Wind Beast started sniffing non-stop. What is it? Chi Zhao asked. It's like. There's a familiar smell. Can't put my finger on it, but I swear I've smelled it somewhere before. Lao Yu sniffed madly around the spot where Kong Yu had been sitting. Still can't remember, but it feels super familiar. Where the hell did I smell this before? Anoka Yun followed Kong Yu into a barbecue joint that could only be described as filthy. A dim, cramped alley corner. Greasy little stools. Charred, black square tables with burn marks from charcoal. The owner wore flip-flops and a floral apron, a toothpick dangling from his mouth. He tossed the menu onto the table and walked away without a word. Didn't expect to find a place like this in Moonlight Alley. Do the market authorities here even do their jobs? Don't tell me this is the rendezvous point? Kong Yu picked up the menu, took out the pen clipped to it, and started marking her order. She didn't even look up as she replied, hidden in plain sight. Anokayun gave her a thumbs up. I want 10 skewers of kidneys, 5 of springs, 5 of leeks, and a dozen oysters. Just as the two were ordering, a ruckus broke out nearby. Don't run, you little bastard, where the hell do you think you're going? Security. Security. Thief. Fuck your mothers, we see you guys every time we pay the management fees, but when we really need help there's not a damn soul around. If I pay the management fee again next quarter, I swear I'm a fucking mutt. Stop. Don't run. Wu was being chased by a man, stumbling and crawling, and he dove in front of Kongyu, wailing, "Yu, quick, got any cash on you?" Kongyu settled Wu's debt. The man chasing him got his money and left satisfied. Hey, don't leave. What now? What else do you want? Wu reached out toward the man. You got your money, give me back my protective charm. Fuck off, I probably threw it away ages ago. With that, the man turned and left. Staring at his back, Wu cursed furiously, damn it, I hope you step out and get hit by a stroke of luck. Kongyu glared at him coldly, what the hell happened? Why the fuck can't I reach your claw phone again? Ugh, battery died. Forgot to charge it last night. Anokayun didn't dare say a word. This was his first time seeing Wu. Damn, this guy is the boss of the free organization? Good thing I didn't talk shit just now. What kind of man looks prettier than most girls? Fucking unbelievable. Oh right, who's this? Anokayun. Just joined our organization not long ago. Boss, nice to meet you. Anokayun quickly stood up and shook Wu's hand. Oh, so you're the inheritor of that demon blade. You really managed to con him into joining us, huh? Kongyu looked speechless. He's been here for nearly half a year already. Seriously? It's been that long? Welcome. Warmest welcome to our big family. Anokayun nodded and chuckled awkwardly. The two let go and sat back down. Just then, the skewers arrived. Wu rubbed his hands together. Hey, you guys haven't started eating, right? Seeing their lack of reaction, Wu went ahead and picked up a skewer of grilled chicken skin. Well, I haven't eaten yet, so I'll help myself. Yu really gets me. She knows I love the chicken skin from this place. Wu took a big bite. The chicken skin sizzled with oil, crisp and fragrant. Authentic. You don't have money to eat? If you're broke, why were you carrying a clay-baked chicken in one hand and a lemonade in the other? A kind soul bought it for me. I can't afford that stuff. Wu put on a pitiful face. I'm dead broke. You know better than anyone how many coins I've got left. So what have you been busy with lately? Hearing Kongyu's question, Wu wiped his mouth with the back of his hand. Don't get me started. You wouldn't believe it. Those science maniacs in Piltover planted a ton of hex cloud bombs in Zune. Like right under our feet, there's one. But thanks to these bombs, Order hasn't been able to take over Zune. Too bad they're all networked together. I haven't found a vulnerability yet. Otherwise, I'd dismantle a few just for fun. So this is what you've been up to lately? Yeah. I've already mapped out where all the hex cloud bombs are in Zune. How's that, impressive or what? Boss, you're amazing. No wonder you're the boss. Anokayun quickly smiled and flattered him. Whatever, as long as my paycheck's still coming in, I'm good. Kongyu looked speechless, not in the mood to respond. For payroll, talk to Uncle Lee. He's fully in charge of logistics. Anokayun was about to bring up the raise, but the timing felt off, so he kept his mouth shut. Didn't expect that Zhang Zuan would actually keep his word. Well, we did give him 3 silver coins. 4. Kongyu corrected him. Huh? 4? Since when? Whatever, 4 it is. As long as we got the result we wanted. Isn't it a bit much for us to be talking about this so openly? Anokayun said with concern. Zhao Huo's got a point. As he spoke, a small purple snake slithered out from Wu's sleeve. Its mouth opened, and a small bubble appeared out of thin air. The bubble expanded, wrapping around the 3 of them and isolating them from the outside. Alright, speak freely now. No one can hear us. Wu finished the chicken skin skewer and grabbed another. Oh right. Anything else I don't know about? Fill me in quick. Then I'll summarize the mission progress so far. Kongyu cleared her throat and began. During the 5th games, I entered the inner realm, collected silver coins, scammed badges, then teamed up with a bunch of wanted criminals pretending to be newbies to launch a sneak attack on Dream Palace in Yurden. The real goal was to help the Fire Theft Society break into Paradise and steal the Boar silver coin. Because among the 12 Zodiac silver coins, every known Boar coin is in Paradise's hands. This phase of the mission went off without a hitch. Only downside was we lost quite a few allies during the ambush on Dream Palace. Chapter 218, Chi Zhao's mission report. Wu nodded. Kongyu continued, Danzō, president of the Fire Theft Society, used some of the silver coins we provided, plus the ones he had, to collect all 12 Zodiac silver coins and add a new rule to the game. So far, Order hasn't made any clear response to this newly added rule. Of course, this new game rule and the early launch of the 6th game are just like our previous ambush on Dream Palace. On the surface, it's about disrupting their grand train plan 10 years in the making, but in reality, it's to lull them into a false sense of security. They'd never expect our true goal is to use the air gate ribbon-cutting ceremony to completely overthrow Order. Because attacking Dream Palace has one key issue. How to get to Yurden. If we use the train to reach Yurden, the stops are random, which means we'd be scattered all over. And Yurden is crawling with inspectors. As soon as the train lands, we'd be spotted. In that case, they'd get a heads up before we can regroup, and the ambush would turn into a head-on clash. With the manpower and strength we have now, a direct confrontation is not an option. At this point, Wu Yu took over the conversation and said loudly, "Exactly. But if we use the air gate, we won't have that problem. Everyone goes through the air gate together and arrives in Yurden at the same time, same place. Give them one hell of a surprise. Right. And also, the infiltration plan has already begun. Everything's going smoothly so far. The mole is. I don't need to coordinate with him, no need to tell me." Wu Yu interrupted Konyu while munching on chicken skin. "The fewer people who know the mole's identity, the better. Ideally, only you should know." Konyu nodded at his words and said no more. Then she continued reporting their recent activities. Wu Yu listened while eating, nodding along. Suddenly, he raised his hand in a gesture to silence. Anoka Yun's instantly tensed up. "What is it? Were we discovered?" "No." Wu Yu shook his head. "Just changing the air." As he spoke, the original bubble vanished, and a little purple snake slithered out from his sleeve, opened its mouth, and spat out a new bubble. Anoka Yun's. Once the air change was done, the new bubble expanded, again enveloping the three of them. "By the way, go tell our undercover brother that this operation is cancelled. We don't need him to coordinate anymore." Konyu was startled, looking confused. 2 reasons. First, it's becoming harder and harder to place moles on the inside. If we can avoid exposure, we should. If this ambush fails, we'll still need him as a backup. Second, moles can't be trusted. Who knows if he's a double agent? This also serves as a test. Of course, I'm not saying he is a double agent. I trust your judgment when it comes to picking people. But this world is full of supernatural forces and artifacts. He might not even know he's a double agent himself. Konyu didn't say another word after hearing that. "So, do you still need me to gather intel on Order's moves?" "No need. If we're gonna put on a show, we go all in. Whatever they're planning, as long as I'm here, don't worry. I'll start contacting our people and get them to converge in Zune. 3 days from now, at the Airgate's ribbon-cutting ceremony, we'll go straight through and hit Yurden. Take Dream Palace by storm and claim the king's head. Then we'll drag that scum from Paradise out into the streets for a public shaming." At this point, Wu Yu was fired up. When the 6th-generation newbies come out, they'll enter a world of freedom, equality, and no oppression. No more parking fees at public stations. All transit info freely shared. We'll rebuild the utopian open info network. As the three of them ate and talked, the sky began to lighten with the first signs of dawn. As things wound down, the barbecue shop owner picked his nose and tossed the bill onto their table. "Hey, which one of you is paying?" Wu Yu looked at the bill and smiled awkwardly. "You, it's on you." Yurden, Dream Palace. Zhang Nan, one of the representatives attending the ribbon-cutting ceremony, was also responsible for assigning the security personnel and inspectors. He looked at the registration list, brows furrowed. "Damn it, out of so many ministers, I have to go. What the hell is the king thinking? A trade minister would have been enough. Why drag me along?" The Free Organization, Fire Theft Society, and all those infamous wanted criminals were definitely going to stir up trouble during this event. Yurden was manageable. The real problem was June. They never even inspect or manage trainer rivals over there. Who knows how many wanted criminals have been hiding among them all these years. That place isn't under our Order's control. The people of June. They're like stray dogs without collars. Just watch, June will come under Order's rule sooner or later. Only Order can lead them onto the right path. The problem is, word about the Airgate ribbon-cutting ceremony in 3 days is already out. In 3 days, who knows how many freaks, monsters, and lunatics will gather in June. What is the king even doing? Why hasn't there been a single leak from him? Could he be fishing? Trying to use this to catch a big one? But does he really need to use me as bait? Despite all his complaints, Zhang Nan's hands didn't stop as he made the personnel schedule. He placed trusted people around himself, and assigned others to less critical positions. Qi Zhao. Wei Chu. Aren't those the two special recruits whose badges didn't get stolen? Rumor has it these two are pretty strong. They caught Huanga, Elvita, and Hongdi all in one day. Especially this Qi Zhao. He actually killed Hidden Thread, one of the 9 thieves of Pingjing, the very next day. A rookie killing Hidden Thread? He must have had some serious encounters. But now that I think about it, could a rookie really have that many lucky breaks? Could he be a mole planted by the enemy? With that thought, Zhang Nan used his A-level clearance to access Qi Zhao's mission report. A lot of key information was glossed over, even vague in parts. Like how they found the hideout of the Huang LV Hong organization, for example, Chapter 219, Plan Cancelled. The more Zhang Nan read, the more smug his expression became. This mission report was full of holes. How the hell did it even pass the review? Or maybe Dong Heizui's side didn't even bother reviewing it at all. Humphrey, figures. The capture department is famous for being lax in management. This toxic culture started with Zhang Zuan. And it still hasn't changed to this day. After all, Dong Heizui was trained by that guy. Like mentor, like disciple. Saying things like as long as the target is caught, the process doesn't matter. Bullshit. You have to do the job right, and the report even more so. Nope, can't stand this anymore. This damn report is a mess. How is Dong Heizui even fit to be a director? Right, she should still be in Yurden today. Zhang Nan immediately contacted Dong Heizui. Yeah, I need to talk to you. Come over here, I'm at Dream Palace. He hung up the claw phone, face full of smugness. Humphrey, I'll slam this report right in her face and see what she has to say. But before Zhang Nan could bask in his satisfaction, the office door was kicked open. Dong Heizui strode in, wearing a black slick kipao, one snowy white leg still lifted mid-air, zero concern for her image. What is it? Zhang Nan's carefully prepared lines and emotions collapsed in an instant. Don't tell me you called me over for this petty crap? Dong Heizui slammed both hands on the desk, eyes glaring fiercely at Zhang Nan. Have you been off the field too long? Your brain not working anymore? With a loud smack, the desk cracked down the middle. Zhang Nan swallowed hard. This world is full of supernatural powers, tons of tools and skills for tracking and tracing. Do I really have to spell this out for you? That still doesn't justify them not writing a proper report detailing their casework. Zhang Nan fought back with reason. Fuck the report. Who's it even for? Me? Wang? Or Bordashu? They don't want to expose their tools and abilities, so what? Which law says they have to write everything out, detail for detail? I don't want pin pushers and smooth talkers in my department. What good's a pretty report anyway? They caught Huang, LV, and Hong in just one day. That's the kind of efficiency I need in capture. You keep this up, you're going nowhere. Dong Heizui let out a chuckle and stood up straight. She looked down on Zhang Nan with a proud sneer. I'm the boss of capture. If I say it's fine, it's fine. Zhang Nan took a deep breath, trying his best to control his expression. I also discovered something else. Their report only listed the task of capturing Huang, LV, and Hong. And this task it was assigned directly by you. Which means, the security mission this time was their first voluntary task. Don't you think the intent behind that is a bit too pointed? For such a critical guard mission, it's hard not to be suspicious. Ha. Dong Heizui shook her head with a laugh. You think they're enemy agents planted in our ranks? They've been thoroughly vetted. If you've got doubts, go talk to Elsa. Though I'd suggest waiting till tomorrow. She's asleep by now. Zhang Nan. You've got time to sit around guessing shit. Why don't you get cracking on the security layout and personnel scheduling? Everyone's busy. Don't waste other people's time. With that, Dong Heizui turned and walked off, leaving Zhang Nan pouting and annoyed. Close the damn door. Fuck. Zhang Nan slammed his fist on the desk, and this time it split apart completely. Qi Zhao found a quiet spot and took out the train. They were still spending the night inside Qi Zhao's train. It was the only place that gave them a sense of security. If anything happened, they could hit the tracks and run right away. Before heading to Moonlight Alley, he had messaged Wei Chu, who had already replied. Huh? What? You took a security job too? I thought you said you were busy and wouldn't come. Felt like taking a shower. Ha 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 ha, alright then. I'll see you in soon tomorrow and we'll head straight to Sunlight Alley. Hey, the commissioner just sent the schedule. Qi Zhao also received a message from the order commissioner. It detailed the layout for the ribbon-cutting ceremony 3 days from now, and the area he'd be responsible for. The entire Hexgate ribbon-cutting venue was divided into 6 zones from the center outward. At the very heart of it all was the Hexgate Energy Generator Zone core. This area was heavily guarded by both the Order Heaven and Piltover enforcers, ensuring not even a fly could sneak in. The layout map didn't specify exact coordinates. It just indicated the existence of such a zone. Next came the platform beneath the Hex Gate, where the ribbon cutting would actually happen. The platform was the smallest zone but likely had the tightest security. After all, it was for the VIPs taking part in the ceremony. Beneath the platform was Zone A, where elites, chiefs, scientists, and officials would sit. Beyond that was Zone B for upper-class citizens seated, but far more crowded than Zone A. Like stadium seating. Behind Zone B was Zone C for regular civilians. No seats here, people had to stand. Finally, the outermost area was Zone D. Zone D served as both entrance and security checkpoint, a key line of defense. The entire layout formed a half-encircled structure. On the other side of the Hex Gate was a dark void. That void was the result of the gate's formation, a rift in space. If someone accidentally stepped in, they'd be sucked into the void. There's no oxygen in there, people would suffocate. That's the miracle of the Hex Gate. It can link to the void and use it to enable teleportation. Step in through one gate, and in an instant, you'd appear where the other gate opens. Of course, connecting to the void consumed immense amounts of energy. If the energy supply faltered, the gate would collapse, and the passage would vanish. That's why the energy generator in the core zone was absolutely critical. Can't believe I got stuck in the messiest, outermost Zone C. Wei Chu was clearly unhappy, total newbie disrespect. All the cushy spots in Zona are probably taken by veterans and folks with connections. Where were you assigned? Zone C2 stand 3. No way? I'm at C2. Haha, perfect. I'll bring extra snacks. We'll just squat somewhere and wait it out. Wei Chu was instantly in a better mood knowing he'd been next to Qi Zhao. Qi Zhao then hand-drew the layout of the ceremony zones and sent it to Kong Yu. He included which zone he'd be stationed in. But Kong Yu didn't reply. Not until the next morning. She finally sent back a sticky note. It had just 4 simple words: plan cancelled. Qi Zhao stared blankly. They were all hyped up about handling order just yesterday. How did things flip overnight and the plan got cancelled? Could it have something to do with the layout diagram he sent her? Something wasn't right, something was really not right. Chapter 220, Ribbon Cutting Ceremony begins. There were still 2 days left before the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Hex Gate. Qi Zhao arrived early in Zune, mainly to scout the location and terrain around the Zune Hex Gate and prepare in advance. After all, he was caught between 2 organizations. He had to plan an escape route for himself. Of course, if things really went down, he had his own way to bail out. His final fallback plan: special module, anchor point rewind. And now Kong Yu suddenly says, the plan's cancelled? Yeah, right, as if I'd believe that. What do you mean, Sister Yu? Not infiltrating Yurden anymore? Kong Yu didn't reply. Could it be that the zone I'm in is too far out to be of any use to them? Not impossible. Qi Zhao nodded to himself. One thing's for sure, their plan is definitely not cancelled. In fact, it might be something huge. So big they don't even bother telling me anymore. Wait, don't tell me they're going all out with a final showdown? Qi Zhao's thoughts ran wild. After breakfast, he went alone to the Hex Gate area. It was already cordoned off and temporarily off limits. Qi Zhao wandered around nearby. When he got tired, he found a bench and sat down. It felt different from the previous times he'd stopped in Zune. I know what's different, there are more people. Whether it was pedestrians, passing Piltover enforcers, or the drones buzzing overhead, everything had increased in number. No surprise, a major event like this, and with Thunder season just ended, plenty of conductors were bound to show up for the excitement. What stood out was the ceremony's timing. It was very deliberately chosen. It would begin at 8:05 a.m. Train stopovers were at 8 o'clock, and arrivals were random. With the ribbon cutting set at 8:05, whether you're a spectator or someone looking to stir trouble, you'd have to dock in Zune at least a day early. Otherwise, you wouldn't make it in time if you came on the day of. Wait, wouldn't Order Heaven take action because of this? Not even planning a night raid? With so many trains docked, there's no way everyone can stow theirs away. Maybe Order will act too, but I probably won't know about it. Sigh, I'm still just a newbie who only recently joined. Qi Zhao's claw phone vibrated. It was a call from Wei Chu. He shared his location and asked Qi Zhao to help tow his train to the train exchange for cleaning. By the time Qi Zhao got there, it had been half an hour. Wei Chu's train had only 8 carriages left, compared to last time. And it had been repainted. The carriages were now yellow. A green engine, yellow cars. Ha 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 ha, bro. Haven't seen you in forever, I missed you, man. Wei Chu rushed over and gave Qi Zhao a big hug, slapping him on the back. He had not only dyed his hair black again but even changed the color of his train. Why'd you go with yellow? Qi Zhao looked at the yellow-green combo and chuckled. Not gonna lie, it looked pretty fresh. Because Wanwan's train is yellow too. Chizhou. Why are you cleaning it again? Someone die in there? Don't even bring it up, it's the rainy season, man. My train turned into some kind of damn water curtain cave. And all the food moldy as hell. Even my underwear that I forgot to wash grew a mushroom, can you believe that? I'm done, man. I disassembled every decomposable car. What's left are the ones I need, can't take them apart. Otherwise I'd scrap the whole damn thing. Chizhou nodded. As the train doors opened, a wave of musty stench poured out. All the food Wei Chu had piled on the floor was coated in green mold. On top of that, water was dripping non-stop from the car ceiling. Even the foot of Wei Chu's bed had 2 gray mushrooms growing on it. This wasn't a train anymore, this was literally Monkey King's water curtain cave. I even installed central air with 24/7 dehumidifying, still worthless. It's been like this non-stop, I'm losing my fucking mind. If this rainy season doesn't pass soon, I'm not traveling anymore. Chizhou, still pretending to be a newbie, didn't feel a thing. But now he was seeing just how terrifying the rainy season really was. Not only did food spoil faster, but the train interior turned into a rainstorm, completely unlivable. He placed his hand on Wei Chu's train and stored it into his realm bracelet, then headed to the train exchange for cleaning. At the exchange, quite a few people were there to clean their trains. Most of them had the same issue, sudden seasonal change causing food spoilage and contamination inside the cars. Wei Chu just dumped the train and didn't bother. He'd come back when it was cleaned. With arms over each other's shoulders, Wei Chu laughed loudly with Chizhou. Let's go, bro. Food, showers, massage, full service package. The wives of Lao Yu are all here, right? Tell them to wait for me, I'm buying everything today. Wei Chu pounded his chest in promise. Another day passed. Today was the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the Hex Gates in Yurden and June. Zhongnan adjusted his outfit in front of the mirror, practicing his smile. Once he confirmed his hairstyle was perfect, he headed out. He was attending the ceremony with Elsa. Since they hadn't found a replacement for the Trade Department director in time, Elsa was filling in temporarily. The Hex Gate in Yurden was built next to the Boundary Sea, close to Capture Headquarters. It was guarded by Order Heaven's strongest force, the Capture Department. Security around the gate was extremely tight, calling it an ironclad web wasn't an exaggeration. Everyone present had been arranged beforehand, actors and spectators alike. While the gate was open, a high magnetic energy net and anti-magic barrier would be activated. With both tech and magic in place, even if someone blindly entered from the Zune side, they'd be throwing themselves into a trap at Yurden, basically suicide. To protect the interests of both sides, the gates could only be opened through joint activation. One-sided activation was useless. Once the link between the Hex Gates was established, it would allow seamless travel between the two cities while active. The Hex Gate had been developed and refined over decades, and it could now connect 2 public train stations. All that effort had finally paid off. This moment was a miracle in the making. With the infusion of blue energy, a giant arched gate 30 meters wide and 40 meters tall opened. And this was just the test version. The gate could be made even larger. Whether people or goods, as long as they passed through, they'd arrive directly in Zune. Likewise, travelers from Zune could reach this side the same way. Of course, thanks to trains, many things could already be traded cross-region. But due to the limited size of trains, a lot of large equipment couldn't be transported. Like war machines, infrastructure tools, medical devices, even larger cars couldn't fit into train cars. Because they just couldn't get inside. Yurden needed to expand and upgrade its infrastructure, but Zune's equipment had always been hard to transport there. The construction of the Hex Gate solved that issue. Yurden's tech development was about to explode. And for the common people, that was actually a great thing. Chapter 221, Entry. Zhongnan was dressed sharply in a regulation order uniform, his leather shoes gleaming. His slick-back hair and calm expression gave off an air of indifference. Elsa wore a black cinched waist gown with a flared skirt that perfectly highlighted her figure. Her skin was fair, and her neck delicate. She wore black lace gloves on her hands, and a black lace mask over her eyes. The beauty mark at the corner of her lips added a certain flair. Anyone who looked at her wouldn't think she had children. She didn't even look like an adult. Zhongnan looked down at the audience below, 300 people sitting upright with serious expressions, and nodded in satisfaction. To prevent chaos and other unpredictable variables, he had handpicked every one of these extras. They were all people from Order Heaven. They came from various departments. There were prosecutors, accountants from finance, and logistics personnel from internal affairs. Not only that, several skilled agents from the capture department were mixed among them. This wasn't an audience. This was a squad of combat personnel. Letting citizens spectate. What was there to spectate? If a wanted criminal changed their appearance and slipped in, wouldn't that be a disaster? Speaking of which, it was already time. Why was there no movement from Xion? Could something have gone wrong? He lifted his wrist to check his watch. 8:10. Already 5 minutes past schedule. Zhang Nan whispered to Elsa beside him, "What's going on? Something happened?" "Yeah." Elsa gave a small nod. Mayor Pai, who was supposed to cut the ribbon in Xion, suddenly had diarrhea. And it seems pretty serious. Zhang Nan turned his head, dumbfounded. He didn't have to go earlier, didn't have to go later, he had to go now? Does that make any sense? Elsa said softly, "It happened suddenly. Definitely strange." Zhang Nan frowned unconsciously. "What about Wang? Is Wang back yet?" "No idea." At such a critical moment, Wang wasn't in Yurden. And neither was Dong Haizui. No one knew where she was either. They were definitely plotting something behind his back. Zhang Nan increasingly felt like he was the bait Wang's bait to fish with. But fortunately, Elsa was here too. Given how much Wang favored her, he absolutely wouldn't let her be in danger. If she wasn't in danger, then he wouldn't be either. Yeah, no problem. Back in his younger days, Zhang Nan had once worked undercover in Utopia. That organization which offered free public train station info. The entire group was wiped out, largely thanks to Zhang Nan. Because of that, he quickly rose to become chief prosecutor. Commanding tens of thousands of prosecutors, he was a big deal. But even so, deep down, he was uneasy. The Utopia organization was loved by many travelers for sharing station information for free. If they ever found out it was Zhang Nan who caused its downfall from within, he'd become public enemy number one. Although to those people, order was already a thorn in their side. Damn, last time Wang intentionally leaked that piece of intel during the meeting. If someone in the room decided to mess with him and spread that info, wouldn't that be the end of him? That guy had been targeting him intentionally or unintentionally lately. Did he do something wrong? Impossible. Everything he had done was for the sake of maintaining and stabilizing order. Compared to Yurden's orderliness and quiet, Xion was chaos and noise. The elites in Zone A and upper-class attendees in Zone B were relatively well-behaved. Though they whispered to each other, they kept their voices down. But Zone C was a different story. No seats. People packed together, shoving and jostling. Everyone wanted to squeeze forward to get a better view. Qi Zhao and his team weren't there to protect the crowd. Their mission was to patrol their assigned areas and report any suspicious individuals immediately. The goal was to eliminate any security risks. Attention, attention. Zone C reporting in. C1, all clear. C2, all clear. It was Qi Zhao's turn. He raised a hand to his earpiece and replied, C3, all clear. This was the standard issue communication device distributed by Order Heaven yesterday. Zone C was divided into 30 subzones, separated by iron fences. That made Wei Chu unhappy he couldn't go slack off with Qi Zhao now. Each zone was estimated to hold about 100 people. So Zone C, in total, could hold up to 3,000 spectators. At that moment, C3, the area Qi Zhao was in charge of, already had 80 to 90 people, nearly full. At the entrance of Zone D, there were 3 security checks. Don't push. There's still space, form a line. Hold your citizen ID and enter in an orderly manner. If you don't have a citizen ID, don't move forward. The first step was facial recognition for the citizen ID. Only those with a valid Pi City ID could enter. After that was a full body scan to check for dangerous items. Finally, there was a manual inspection for double checking. Only after clearing everything would the person be assigned a viewing zone. A female prosecutor patted Wu Yu down and, after confirming he was clean, said, "This way, C3. Alrighty." Wu Yu entered with a smile. The female prosecutor shook her head. Looks so pretty, but turns out he's a guy. Wu Yu had just stepped in when Qi Zhao noticed him. He kept his eyes on the entrance, observing everyone coming into his zone. This guy had a Pi City citizen ID? For them conductors, the most legitimate and straightforward way to get one was to own a house in Pi City. This guy owned property in Pi City? Then why was he still sneaking around stealing chickens? Clearly, Wu Yu had also noticed Qi Zhao. He jumped up, waving excitedly. Qi Zhao walked over. Wu Yu grinned and said, "Taoist Qi, didn't expect you'd come watch the ribbon cutting too." "Yeah, figured the hex gate sounded interesting. Right? It's such a brilliant invention. A true game changer." Wu Yu stared at the yet-to-be-activated hex gate, eyes shining. Meanwhile, in the backstage lounge, a Pi City enforcer stormed in, fuming. What the hell? Wasn't her food custom prepped? Why the sudden diarrhea? I'm not sure. It was really sudden. Even the antidote didn't work. Mayor's secretary, Taemin, kept his head down, stammering. The enforcer walked to the restroom door, pinching his nose. What's going on in there? I might have eaten. Eaten something bad. Right after he said that, another round of wet splattering noises came from inside, along with a strong stench. Fuck. 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 Pulling this shit at such a critical moment, what now? We're out of time. Yurden's already opened the hex gate, they're just waiting on us. Little Taemin, you go in my place. I really. Splat 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 splat. Mayor, no. I can't take your place. For such an important ceremony, no, I really can't. Taemin waved his hands frantically and backed away. Quit the crap, the mayor said, you're going. Today, whether you can or not, you're going. Come on. We're already late, move. The two left, and the door shut behind them. Inside the restroom, the mayor had collapsed on the floor, unconscious. Anoka Young was squatting on the toilet seat, a red mask over his mouth. The mask had a painted mouth that moved eerily with his speech. Chapter 222, The Invention That Affects the Game. This isn't an ordinary mask, it's a prop, a voice simulator. It can mimic all kinds of pre-recorded sounds, including but not limited to human voices, animal sounds, and various sounds of nature. Paired with another prop, the stink pouch, it created the illusion that the mayor had a diarrhea emergency. Okay, done. Now on to the next step. He held his nose, looking utterly disgusted. Speaking of which, this stink pouch is seriously nasty. Ugh. Message just came in, they say the mayor's secretary will be attending in his place. Jong Nan frowned instinctively. The secretary is showing up instead? Wait a minute. Something's off. That secretary is very likely problematic. I need to be cautious. I'll stand nearby, and let Elsa stand next to her. If anything happens, she'll take the hit first. With that in mind, Jong Nan nodded to himself. Finally, at 8:10 a.m., a woman in a black uniform dress with a ponytail walked up the exhibition platform, supporting an elderly man with white hair but a lively spirit. The hex gate activated. The energy generator began to run, and blue energy converged into a massive door. Everyone gasped at the sight. That blue, semi-transparent door, gently rippling like water, walk through it, and you're instantly somewhere else. Compared to the general public, train conductors like Chi Zhao understood the true value of this gate. Traveling from one public station to another was actually quite a hassle and dangerous. The hassle came from the fact that you had to reach level 20 and unlock the rest module first. Only then could you choose previously visited public stations as rest destinations. The danger? You couldn't start a rest journey from a public station. Which meant, to travel between two public stations, you had to transition through a random station. And that random station could be deadly enough to end you. Now with the hex gate, that issue was solved head-on. In the future, as long as you had money, you could easily travel between the two places via the hex gate. Much safer and more efficient than riding a train. It was clearly the best option. The hex gate would undoubtedly change a lot. For instance, some conductors used to run passenger transport businesses taking people from Zun to Yurden, or the other way around. Such business would now sharply decline. With a hex gate available, who'd still risk taking the train? What if the random station you ended up in was a death trap? But the hex gate's impact on conductors didn't stop there. For fugitives wanted by the Orderly Heaven, this was a dimensional blow. Previously, when Orderly Heaven wanted to capture them in Zun, they had to pass through random stations, inevitably resulting in casualties. Now, it's a different story. The hex gate solved that perfectly. Even though activating it required massive energy, it could be synchronized with cargo transport. The hex gate would drastically reduce pointless casualties, lowering the cost of crime suppression for Orderly Heaven once again. Zun would no longer be a haven for wanted criminals to lie low. So pretty. Wu Yu was mesmerized, while Chi Zhao retracted his gaze and started observing the crowd's reactions. Strangely calm. The quieter it was, the more Chi Zhao felt like this bomb would explode harder. Look! Someone's coming out. As someone pointed at the hex gate and shouted, the crowd fell silent and held their breath. The gate rippled, and a man and woman walked out. The man had cold eyes and thin lips. He was slight and skinny, his face expressionless. The woman wore a black cinched waist dress, with black lace gloves and a matching blindfold. A teasing smile tugged at her lips. So these were the Chief Inspector Jong Nan and Head of Human Resources Elsa. This was the first time Chi Zhao had seen any other department head from Orderly Heaven besides Dong Hei Izui. Elsa. She was Xia Yuan's mother, wasn't she? Didn't expect her to be so young, and with that figure, you'd never guess she'd given birth. Wei Chu, on the other hand, was clinging to the railing, eyes sparkling. It's my mother-in-law. Finally got to see my mother-in-law. She's gorgeous, no wonder Zhao Wan turned out so pretty. Props to my mother-in-law. Even the male audience at the venue started breathing heavily. Faced with such a captivating presence, they actually forgot about the magic of the hex gate. With the MC's passionate albeit cliché opening speech wrapping up, the ribbon-cutting ceremony officially began. During the cutting, Nan kept a close eye on the mayor's substitute secretary. Nothing suspicious, though she did look very nervous. Took her several tries to cut that ribbon segment in her hands. Was I just being paranoid? After the ceremony, the host also randomly picked a lucky audience member to step up and try the hex gate. To prove to everyone that the gate was real and functional. Any ordinary person could use it. Of course, this lucky audience member was actually an insider prearranged by the Piltover enforcers. As the lucky one stepped into the gate and vanished, then reappeared moments later, face full of awe and disbelief, the crowd erupted into thunderous cheers. Everything went exactly as planned. Peaceful. Nothing seemed wrong. But the calmer it was, the more uneasy Chizhou felt. You have to understand, over the past 3 days, there were hundreds of thousands of train conductors docking at Zune and joining the public chat room. So many trains stopping at Zune at once, truly an unprecedented spectacle. Actually, it wasn't just Zune. Yurden had even more trains docked. It's just that those conductors weren't wanted by orderly heaven. You could say that almost all active conductors, the players from the first 5 rounds of this game, had gathered at these 2 public stations. Because they all knew, the activation of the hex gate marked a turning point. Today might be the day the entire power dynamic gets reshuffled. Like the calm before a storm. In Chizhou's pocket, his claw phone buzzed every 3 minutes. It was a task he'd assigned Lao Yu. Every 3 minutes, send him a message confirming safety. If something went wrong, call directly, and Chizhou would instantly teleport back using the anchor point. His train was currently placed in the train exchange, located on orderly heaven's turf, not in the wild. Lao Yu and the rest were guarding it from inside. Looks like things are wrapping up here. Seeing Nan and Elsa turning to leave, Mayor's secretary Taemin and the lead designer of the hex gate also followed. Because the same ceremony still had to be held in Yurden. And just then, something unexpected happened. Chapter 223, The 24 Solar Discs. Yurden, Boundary Sea, the towering hex gate stood firm. A faint blue glow formed its doorway, giving the illusion that a gentle breath could blow it away. Below, a few hundred spectators sat in neat rows, backs straight, eyes fixed intently on the hex gate. If the ones returning weren't Nan, Elsa, and the personnel from Zune involved in the ribbon cutting, the pre-assigned members of the apprehension unit would move in instantly, like lightning. Outside the hex gate, there was an invisible energy shield. This was a high magnetic energy net, capable of blocking all flying objects. It wasn't a hemispherical dome but a full sphere. The other half, naturally, extended underground. The hex gate was protected from all angles by this energy dome. On top of that, below the hex gate was also an anti-magic barrier. Any magical attacks would be detected and absorbed by it. Even more than that, 6 of the 24 solar discs had secretly been transferred here by Wang. The Heaven and Earth 24 solar discs are items that can only be obtained from level 8 or higher treasure chests. They are a set of gear, with the full set made up of 24 unique and powerful discs. It took orderly heaven 40 years to collect the complete set. Each disc had its own distinct and potent ability. Take the Spring Begins disc, for example. Once activated, a spring breeze would sweep through the area. This breeze didn't harm, it could clear negative conditions and heal wounds. Then there's the Spring Equinox disc, which summoned thunder-summoning swallows. These swallows had no physical form, and flew as fast as lightning. If one passed through your body, a bolt of lightning would strike from nowhere. Anyone hit would either die or be gravely injured. It was terrifying. Then there was the Heavy Snow disc, which would cause thick, fluffy snow to fall and freeze everything in its range. These discs were currently in active mode. The moment they detected intruders, they would launch indiscriminate attacks. Of course, when held by a user, the discs could also be precisely controlled. The user could target specific individuals in the area. They could choose to only heal allies or only attack enemies. But the mental strain was enormous, not something just anyone could handle. Only Wang could manage to control all 24 at once. For most people, using even one disc would push them to the limit. Dream Palace was guarded under the full protection of the complete 24 solar discs. Now, 6 of those had been pulled away by Wang to guard the hex gate. You could say this was the safest place in all of Yurden aside from Dream Palace. External attacks? No need to worry. With a high magnetic energy net and the anti-magic barrier in place, all long-range attacks were basically ineffective. And if you tried to get in close, you'd enter the range of Wang's secretly placed solar discs. That was even more deadly. Regular people stepping in would be signing their death warrant. Even conductors with gear and skills couldn't withstand attacks from the solar discs. After all, each disc was a legit level 8 item. And not far from the hex gate, the apprehension unit stood at the ready, prepped to leap into action. Almost 90% of the apprehension unit had been recalled to Yurden half a month ago. All for today. Everyone knew how critical the hex gate was. Its appearance could change everything. The unit members were armed with standard issue weapons and armor. Their bullets were specially designed paralysis rounds. These could still penetrate normal armor. Even if the armor wasn't breached, the bullet would release a concentrated paralytic agent on impact. Once inhaled, it would instantly paralyze the target. The apprehension unit always prioritized capturing people alive. Among this heavily armed crowd was an odd one out. His weapon was a specially crafted longsword. He was none other than Li Huizi's older brother Li Diancheng, who had once teamed up with Qi Zhao to slay the zombie king. He wasn't given a gun for a very simple reason: he sucked at shooting. After training for a while, all he'd done was waste bullets with zero results. Of course, when God closes one door, he opens another. His swordsmanship was excellent, and he could take a beating. His close combat skills and intuition were top-notch, truly in a league of his own. Thanks to his strong performance and battle instincts, Li Diancheng had been promoted from a candidate to an intern. Once he passed the internship, he'd be assigned to a regular squad. He'd officially become a member of the apprehension unit, standing on the same starting line as Qi Zhao and Wei Chu. As the four ribbon-cutting guests entered the hex gate alongside the host and disappeared, the previously stable gate suddenly began to shrink. Because it was made purely of energy with no physical form, it collapsed at an incredibly fast rate. In the blink of an eye, the 30-meter-wide, 40-meter-tall portal vanished. The person in charge on site was completely stunned. What the hell? Where'd the gate go? Was there an issue with the energy generator? As the person in charge, he instantly recognized that this was due to a power supply cut-off, causing the hex gate to shut down automatically. How could this happen? The energy generator was buried deep underground. It was heavily guarded by both Orderly Heaven and the Piltover enforcers. How could it be compromised? But this was the reality. He had no choice but to urgently contact the personnel guarding the generator. The video call connected. What? You shut down the power because you got word that the ribbon cutting was over? FK, fuck. Don't you guys have a live feed of our location? The ceremony isn't over yet. They just entered Yurden. It's not over until the host and the rest return. What? You saw the host come back already? Dude, this is a live stream, not a recording. Wait, have you been hacked? FK, fuck. Run a full system check right now and figure out what's going on. And the generator, turn it back on ASAP. The audience below was stunned at first, then broke into an uproar. What's going on, bro? Is this thing even working? Where's the gate? That huge thing just vanished. Man, so it's still in the testing phase? Who the hell would dare use it like this? It's way too risky. Nowhere near as amazing as the ads made it sound. I even took time off work to come see this. Fuck me, give me a refund? Compared to the crowd's outrage and the manager's panic, Qi Zhao actually felt relieved. Finally, some action. He'd been on edge wondering what they were up to. Now he could breathe a little. But still, why did the hex gate disappear? Weren't Konyu and the others supposed to use it to sneak into Yurden and ambush Dream Palace? Could it be this wasn't their doing? Facing the crowd's grumbles and chatter, PR quickly stepped up to explain. What you just saw was a demonstration of the hex gate's shutdown process. As you can see, our hex gate closes so quickly that if danger arises, say, an intruder attempts to enter, we can shut it down instantly to block them out. Isn't that fast shutdown really reassuring? No need to worry, even if it closes, we can reopen it and reconnect with the other hex gate. Now, we'll show you again. The hex gate will light up momentarily. Just as the audience was digesting this, a drone hovering over the seats suddenly exploded. With a loud bang, flames burst in all directions. The crowd gasped, many ducking to avoid the flying debris. That drone's self-detonation was like lighting a fuse. Nearby drones began exploding one after another. The explosions rippled outward, spreading wider and wider. Shards from the drones, propelled by the blasts, rained down toward the ground. At first, the audience just crouched in place. But when it became a matter of life and death, they panicked. Run! We're under attack! Someone shouted, and everyone scattered like terrified rats. Chaos broke out. Qi Zhao realized something was wrong and immediately called for Wu Yu to run with him. His mission wasn't to protect the spectators, he couldn't care less what happened to them. There were way too many drones overhead, so many they resembled a swarm of bees. Each drone was equipped with a high-definition camera, tracking every move of everyone on site. Any unusual behavior would be flagged and warned. Their job was the same as Qi Zhao and the other security personnel. They also had energy emitters capable of simple shooting. But now, drones meant to fight off enemies had become bombs hanging over their own heads. Thankfully, they hadn't gone off right on top of them. The first explosions came from Zone C-15. That gave Qi Zhao and the others plenty of time to react. In the chaos, Qi Zhao grabbed Wu Yu's arm and yanked. A jagged piece of shrapnel slammed into the ground where Wu Yu had just stood. If Qi Zhao hadn't pulled her away, it would have gone straight into her. Qi Daoist. Move. Qi Zhao shouted. He knew the venue well and was fast dragging Wu Yu. He quickly escaped from Zone C. Zone D also had drones, but not as densely packed. There were no spectators here, so surveillance wasn't as heavy. Just as they got out, Qi Zhao's earpiece finally crackled to life. Attention. We are under attack. Evacuate Zone C immediately. Attention. We are under attack. Evacuate Zone C immediately. What a fucking joke, why not wait till we're dead before saying that? Qi Zhao looked speechless and kept running. This was when being in charge of Zone C had its perks. Those responsible for the VIPs in Zone A probably had to stay behind to protect them. But Qi Zhao and the others, who were in charge of the civilians, only needed to look after themselves. The explosions were still going off. Clearly, the drones had been hacked or something. They were all hovering in place, not retreating at all. So the chain of explosions hadn't stopped yet. They'd keep going until every last drone had blown up. While escaping, Qi Zhao noticed Wu Yu didn't look so good. What's wrong? Are you hurt? Hearing his question, Wu Yu smiled and shook her head. No. I should thank you just now, Qi Daoist. I was really in danger without your help. 3 kilometers beneath the hex gate, inside a massive steel-forged spherical fortress with a diameter of 3 kilometers, red lights flashed and alarms blared. This was the bunker housing the hex gate energy generator. But now, the place was littered with severed limbs and pools of blood. The orderly heaven troops guarding the bunker had all been wiped out. Some of the Piltover enforcers who gave up resisting had their weapons confiscated and were locked up together. The ones who took down nearly 1,000 armed personnel? Just 3 people. They were all members of the free organization subordinates of Wu Yu. A petite blonde lily under 1.5 meters tall with twin tails pouted and grumbled. So boring. I'm so jealous of Sister Yu. Her missions always seem way more fun. She was hugging a black scythe over 2 meters long, comically mismatched with her size. Always making me do this kill slash stuff. Is that really okay? I wanna do girly missions too, you know. I counted. Of the 600 orderly guys just now, you killed 493. At that moment, a man with an emotionless face and ice blue hair spoke quietly. 57 of those, you stole from me. The blonde lily used her left index finger to pull at the corner of her eye and stuck out her tongue at him. Well, maybe if you weren't so slow, I wouldn't have to take them. If you were any slower, I could have done it all myself. That wasn't slow. The expressionless man retorted. Yeah, I know. It's art, right? No need to say it again. I've heard it like 100 times. The blonde girl clapped her right hand over her left palm, making a cut-it-out gesture. Such an uncultured woman. The expressionless man wasn't angry. He just shook his head slightly. Standing behind the two of them was a man covered in mechanical modifications. Not only were both his arms cybernetic, but he also had 6 mechanical arms coming out of his back. He was standing in front of a massive control panel. All 8 of his mechanical limbs were moving non-stop, so fast it made your head spin. The control panel was covered with a variety of instruments, levers, indicator lights, and buttons. Above the console was a huge plasma screen. It was split into sections, each showing live feeds of the area around the hex gate above. There was also a holographic projector. The bunker's radar system kept constant watch on everything nearby. And yet, this heavily fortified and secret location had been breached by just 3 people. Okay, done. As he hit the final blue button, the screen displayed, forced unlock. DD nodded in satisfaction, retracted the mechanical arms on his back, and clapped his hands. Alright, now all remote access methods to open the hex gate are useless. Nice one, DD. That was pretty fast. DD scratched his head sheepishly. No, all thanks to the boss. If he hadn't gotten use intel on the bunker from the head of the Piltover enforcers, there's no way we would have taken this place so easily. Chapter 224, 1/ to the throat. Sure. By the way, how do we open this hex gate now? The blonde lily asked curiously. Didn't boss say we just need to open and close it one more time as a signal? Here. This one. DD turned around and pointed at a black lever behind him. Just pull this and it opens. None of the remote methods work. Even if someone with the highest designer level D permission came, it still wouldn't work. He said proudly. The blonde lily gave DD a thumbs up. Nice. DD's tech skills are getting better and better. As DD pulled down the black lever, the energy device inside the bunker started to activate. The light blue hex gate once again took shape. Okay, mission complete, shut it down quickly. Just as the hex gate extended to 40 meters tall, DD pushed the lever back to its original position. The hex gate lost power and quickly collapsed and disappeared. Now the mission is officially complete. DD clapped his hands and smiled. The poker-faced guy nodded. The blonde Lilai, however, looked a little puzzled. Come to think of it, why did boss suddenly change strategy? Weren't we supposed to hide in that batch of goods heading to Yurden and launch a sneak attack? Why did it suddenly turn into controlling Zun's hex gate and wiping out all the order people in Zun? Is boss trying to take over Zun and become king? Wouldn't that kind of go against our original intention? No idea. DD shook his head. No way. Boss isn't that kind of person. The poker-faced guy retorted. The blonde Lilai stuck out her tongue again. But boss really is BDSS. I still don't know how he managed to convince the Piltover boss to work with us. Actually, it's not that hard to figure out. The poker-faced guy started explaining. Everyone knows the order wants to take over Zun, to make Zun another of their controlled public stations. The native people of Zun have always been resisting. But in recent years, the order's been getting stronger, and Zun's resistance has been getting weaker. Being annexed and ruled was just a matter of time. Especially with the emergence of the Hex Gate. On the surface, it looks like a mutually beneficial cooperation between both sides. But think deeper, the order could easily send a huge force through the Hex Gate all at once and conquer Zun in a single blow. And our presence solves their problem perfectly. Our enemy is the order. And since ancient times, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So working with us was inevitable. Exactly. If they hadn't given us the underlying decode, I would have needed at least 7.3 hours to completely crack it. And by then, it would have been too late for DD nodded in agreement with the poker-faced guy's explanation. The blonde Lilai nodded as well. Yeah, seeing us and the order tearing each other apart probably makes them thrilled. But I still don't get it, what exactly is boss aiming for with all this? Even if we control the Hex Gate and clean out the remnants of order in Zun, the order can still fix the modules and come here again. If it's just about weakening their forces, doesn't this all seem a bit too dramatic? A lot of people who've been oppressed by the order came too. It's like a final showdown or something. Why don't we just reopen the Hex Gate and charge through directly? Boss must have his own plans. The poker-faced guy said. Humphrey. That's what I hate most about boss, he never tells us the full plan. The blonde Lilai snorted, clearly displeased. We only ever get to know part of the plan. Just then, DD said quietly, I feel like it might have something to do with that Fire Society boss or whatever. Flame Thieves Society. The poker-faced guy corrected. Yeah, that one. DD continued, boss has been getting real close with him lately. Probably got some intel from him and changed the plan because of it. Whatever. The blonde Lilai flopped down on the ground, totally unbothered. Anyway, our mission's done. The poker-faced guy gently raised his hand, and a stream of barely visible airflow lifted her slightly. Kept her from lying flat on the ground. Mission ended too fast, now I'm bored. The blonde Lilai stared at the ceiling, spacing out. If I'd known it'd be like this, I would have taken my time with the killing. Sigh, wonder how things are going in the other places. Meanwhile, after that open-close-open sequence of the Hex Gate, all the wanted fugitives hiding across Zun from the Order's heaven of order started to emerge. Ha 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 ha, there's the signal. The Hex Gate really was taken by the Freedom Organization? Nice, they actually pulled it off. Without the Hex Gate, Order reinforcements can't get through. Slaughter all the Order lackeys in Zun, give us back the City of Freedom. Suddenly, people on the streets, diners in restaurants, VIPs in bathhouses, and moviegoers all revealed their true identities. They didn't attack regular folks, only the Order members. Especially around Order-exclusive zones, large groups of fugitives gathered. Like the Heaven of Order's Zun branches of the Arrest Division, Trade Department, Infrastructure Department, and so on. Basically, anywhere there were Order members, there were fugitives waiting to pounce. They'd been waiting for this moment a long time. Among them, the largest crowd gathered at the train trading platform. Because if they could break through the outer steel walls, the tens of thousands of trains inside would all be theirs. And the Order's main train trading site was also inside the trading platform. So they had every reason to go for it. In no time, Zun was in flames, engulfed in war. Even though the trading platform was protected by steel walls and packed with armed forces inside, the wild onslaught was overwhelming. Soon, a large hole was blown into the wall, and the conductors swarmed in. Some conductors who didn't even have trains and came to Zun with others quickly picked a train they liked, jumped in, and took off. The guards were completely outmatched by these bandits. They kept getting pushed back, and if they lagged even a bit, they'd be dead. The alarm blared, broadcasting an intruder warning and telling conductors to start up their trains and leave immediately. Lao Yu heard the commotion and went invisible to check out the situation. When he saw the blazing fire and loud explosions in the distance, he knew something had gone wrong. They're attacking, they're really attacking, Sister Zai. They really did? Zai was originally chilling in a group chat, where people were boasting about overthrowing the order and rebuilding it. She never thought it would actually happen. Weren't they talking about overthrowing the order? Now they're looting trains, going full $0 shopping? No wonder they're wanted criminals. Damn. Lao Yu quickly tried calling Chi Zhao, but after multiple attempts, he couldn't get through. What do we do? I can't reach the conductor's comm. Lao Yu was pacing in panic. Could something have happened to the conductor too? Yeah. He might be in even more danger than us. No, I can't just wait here. Saying that, Lao Yu ran out of the carriage again. Hey, Lai Yu, where are you going? I'm going to set up traps, stop them from getting in. This is the conductor's train, I can't let anyone take it. I have to protect the conductor's train. Meanwhile, Li Huizi had already grabbed her Nichiren blade, regulating her breathing and ready to fight at any moment. Seeing everyone doing their part, Zai stomped her foot anxiously. Damn it, I wonder if I can even use those cannons without that guy's authorization. Thinking this, Zai took off at a run toward the artillery carriage. Soon, a group of people stormed into the order's territory. Those female sales reps, clerks, and guards were long gone. This place used to be the high and mighty order train sales center. In times of war, it instantly became a prime target. A few who arrived first immediately set their sights on Chi Zhao's red train. Damn, this train is awesome. So many starter carriages, extra large ones, even an artillery carriage. Shit, these blood-sucking order bastards, we're taking this train. There's gotta be loads of good stuff inside. But just as they charged forward, bang. The one in front got blown away. Only then did they notice the ground was covered in silver discs. They were the military explosives Chi Zhao had confiscated from Huanga, Elvita, and Hondi before suicidal walking mines. Each mine was about 10 centimeters in diameter and 3 centimeters thick. From a distance, they just looked like thick silver discs. But these were high-tech weapons infused with built-over tech, capable of automatically identifying and swiftly homing in on targets. Lao Yu had activated them and placed them near the entrance. Once anyone entered the area, the mines would zip toward the target, then boom. For a moment, those silver discs actually halted their advance. But the violent explosions drew in more wolves. If this were any other place, they might have backed off. But this was the order's heaven of order, their enemy's turf. And with such a good train right in front of them, no one wanted to walk away. Gradually, more and more people arrived. Someone then suggested, let's just use ranged attacks to detonate all these mines. And that artillery carriage destroy it too, in case it causes trouble. Anyway, we can get a level 40 big shot to log in later and use an auto repair module to fix everything. Auto repair, an unlockable module at level 40. It consumes upgrade materials and train coins to repair damaged trains. The more damaged it is, the more materials it takes. Everyone nodded in agreement. Various ranged attacks started forming in their hands. Energy cannons, light arrows, frost spikes, flame swallows. A torrent of skills and items burst forth in terrifying power. All the mines Lao Yu had set up were blown up. They then regrouped and aimed their next wave at the artillery carriage. I won't let you destroy the conductor's train. Lao Yu shouted, throwing a grenade into the crowd. The grenade exploded, but a white energy shield blocked it. Still, the attackers managed to charge up another round of attacks. Just then, 3 of the artillery cannons on that side of the artillery carriage slightly shifted angle. They were aiming right at them. With a slap from Zai, 3 explosive grenades shot out violently. The energy shield shattered instantly, shocking the crowd. But soon after, another round of shells flew in, and because they didn't put up a shield in time, several who failed to dodge were blown to bits. Lao Yu was overjoyed. It's Sister Zai. The survivors dodged artillery shells while trying to find blind spots in the cannon's firing range. Just as they found one and began charging another round of ranged attacks, Li Huizi suddenly burst out from the flank with her pink and white Nichiren blade. Breath of cherry blossom middle dot falling sakura flurry middle dot slash with you. Several swift vertical strikes, every one of the attackers charging up their skills had their hands severed. Screams of agony followed. Their focus had been entirely on the train, and none of them noticed this hidden killer in the corner. But Chi Zhao's train was still too long, and on the other side, more people had gathered to attack. Zai, from inside the artillery carriage, was controlling all 6 cannons, firing left and right. But each shot drained the cannon's durability. Eventually, due to the rapid consecutive firing, 4 of the cannons broke down, requiring train coins to repair. Gritting her teeth, Zai pulled out the 30 train coins she had and managed to fix 3 of them. Meanwhile, Lao Yu kept ambushing with his stealth skills. a grenade would suddenly come flying from nowhere, startling them into constant movement. They had to keep switching positions. This made it hard for them to focus their skills to destroy the artillery carriage. But as time dragged on, the cannon's durability hit zero again. Lao Yu also ran out of grenades. And even though Li Huizi had on ghost step shoes, with more enemies piling in, she was clearly growing tired. Finally, a wave of dazzling, colorful attacks successfully landed on Qi Zhao's train. No one was left to stop them. Lao Yu's eyes went wide in horror. No. Sister Zai is still in there, don't. Boom. The artillery carriage was destroyed, and Qi Zhao's train split in two. Zai was violently thrown out by the impact and knocked unconscious. Seeing the artillery carriage destroyed, the attackers pressed forward fearlessly. With no grenades left, Lao Yu pulled out his rifle to face them head-on. But with a rifle in hand, stealth made no difference. Anyone could spot him right away. A bullet fired from the shadows pierced through Lao Yu's shoulder, and blood gushed out. Lao Yu was wounded. Bleeding made his position even easier to track. His situation became even more dangerous. Li Huizi wasn't doing much better. She had taken down many enemies with her speed, but the sheer number overwhelmed her. Her stamina was running low, and her speed had dropped. She had several wounds on her body. Her lower abdomen, thigh, and arm were all bleeding. Ha 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 ha, what a pretty little babe. Is this your train? If it is, open the door and Uncle will spare your life. What's the matter? Can't move anymore? My blade's got poison on it, you know. Li Huizi gripped her Nichiren blade and supported herself against the ground, panting hard. At this point, she was running purely on willpower. Otherwise, she would have already passed out. Never mind. All beauties turn to bones in the end. Let Uncle help you get there faster. The next second, a line of blood bloomed across the pervert's neck. One slash to the throat. A second later, 3 more people's necks sprayed blood, their faces frozen in terror. Another second, 5. Then 10. Then 20. In just 5 seconds, all 36 attackers surrounding Lao Yu and Li Huizi were killed by a slash to the throat. Not a single one survived.